All right, testing. Looks like we got audio. All right. So, want to thank all you viewers watching for your patience. Apologies. Can't quite control the weather. We had a little bit of a lightning delay there. It was absolutely pouring, really not even an hour ago. It's not quite clear here. We are expecting some more rain, but fingers crossed that the lightning stays off. We can play in rain. Lightning, per league safety rules and possibly national rules at that. We got to have everybody take shelter for 30 minutes until the lightning has cleared. But it looks like we are ready to go now. Your Carolina Reloaded taking on the Electric City Chargers here in Liberty, South Carolina. And the kick is off. It is low and fielded around the 25-yard line. Going to be good field position for the Chargers regardless of where this ends up, and upended. At the 44-yard line is number 0 for Electric City. The Chargers will take over there. We were talking with some of the Chargers coaches during the lightning delay, and despite the inclement weather, which, again, it doesn't look too bad right now, we are expecting some more rain. It'd be nice if it held off, but the Chargers are prepared in either situation. They feel good about Little John's arm, but they also feel very good about their ground game, and particularly if they have to play against the Reloaded in the rain, they feel pretty confident about their ability to move the ball on the ground and especially maybe force some turnovers on the defensive side of the ball. Until then, the Chargers are going to, looks like, not sure if they won the opening coin toss and elected to receive or defer to the second half, but actually it looks like we've got a timeout already. I believe that might have been taken by Carolina. So, in the absence of much else anything to do, we can recap what happened last week. If you tuned in to the Chargers game, which we had a pretty good turnout on the stream, I'd say, especially given that it was a kind of short notice that we got the link up. But the Chargers won that game 26-6 over the Charlotte Bengals in Game 1 of the season. They came out, I think they scored all of their points in the first half, including just a spectacular touchdown run by Bobby Kennebrew and a buzzer beater touchdown pass that went about 60 yards at the end of the second quarter. Mark Littlejohn looked good passing, and the stable, which, I mean, it's a stretch to call this a stable of running backs. I think it's closer to a farm given how many guys they have. I believe 7 different guys carried the ball last week. They've got, I think, at least 5 players listed as running backs on the roster. They handed it off to even more last week. And here's the first snap of the game. This one a handoff to Fonsby Clyburn, coming off a good game last week, and he cuts that one inside for a gain of 7 yards. 2nd down and 3 coming up for the Chargers. And here we go. The Chargers' offensive line played pretty well against the Bengals last time out, though they've got not really a new addition, but Brandon Bingham is back on the roster after being absent last week. Not quite sure why. Traffic jam, illness, could have been any number of things, but Little John, I'm sure everybody on this team glad to have him back. Great leader on the offensive line and really good blocker at that. And going up the middle, I believe that's Clyburn again. Really didn't need any blockers on that one. Drug the pile across the first down line almost by himself on that one. Got some help at the tail end, and it is enough to pick up the first down. It actually was 2nd and 2 on that one. Needed 2, got 3, first down, Electric City. And the Chargers have crossed midfield, ball on the Carolina 44. Again, the weather probably going to be the biggest storyline tonight, especially given that the scouting report on the Reloaded is that they really like to sling the ball around. Obviously going to be pretty difficult in a wet ball drill, and especially if it starts raining like it did earlier. That one, a run up the middle, gain of 4 for number 24. That's Ellis with the carry. There are 2 players with the last name Ellis on this Chargers roster. Not quite sure if there's any relation there. Ball on the 40 now. And of the 2 Ellises, that was Dominique Ellis on the carry there. And this time it's Jesse Turman up the middle, kind of a triple option sort of look there. I don't know if they were actually going to run the whole play, but regardless, Turman takes it up the middle. He is an absolute bruiser at running back. Really, all these guys are. Clyburn, kind of the most speed-ish player, but he can still run through people if he needs to. Thurman, though, running through some people right in the teeth of that defense, able to pick up a first down. Need of 6, got 7. Another first down here for the Chargers. Split backfield now with one tight end on the left side of the formation. And they're going to motion to a strong set. We saw the Bengals run a lot of that last week. And Littlejohn going to hand off kind of a faux I formation run there to, I believe that's Akers. And nope, check that. That's Cameron Delano on the carry with a gain of 5 yards. Kind of fell forward there at the tail end of it. Able to stick that ball out a little bit. Shortest gain so far for the Chargers, 3 yards on the ground. I believe this is 5 or 6 plays now. Man, if they're able to keep this up and move the ball on the ground, I cannot imagine how tired that Carolina defense is going to be by the time the fourth quarter rolls around. As we, here we go. One of their coaches, I believe their offensive coordinator, Mike Williams, said at the beginning of this game, nobody wants to play the Chargers in the rain, and we are getting just a little bit of a drizzle here in Anderson. And right up the middle, I believe that's Kennebrew. I think I saw some dreads on that one. And yep, that is Kennebrew. Really stood up, but it took about 3 guys to stop his momentum. It's going to be 3rd down now for the Chargers. And they're marking that as maybe a gain of 1. 3rd down and 3 coming up. If they want to test out the play-action game, I suppose now's the time, but the run game has worked quite well, too. Whole playbook wide open here on 3rd down. Ball inside the 30-yard line. Littlejohn going to hand off to Clyburn, who's trying to get the edge. He's got the edge. Got a block from a receiver, and, whoa, takes a shot at the 15, but gains well more than enough for a Chargers first down. Inside the red zone now. Really, come to think of it, we didn't see that much of Electric City in the red zone against the Bengals. They had 2 touchdowns of over 50 yards. I don't imagine the offensive philosophy is going to change that much. I think they're going to stick with that ground and pound until Carolina makes them stop, which they have not been able to do thus far. Maybe expect to see a little bit of option sprinkled in here. Littlejohn can run it when he needs to. Not the fastest guy, but he's got some really long strides and get downfield faster than you think. He's deceptively quick. Sticking with that strong set. And handoff to the fullback. This is Quan Bristol, I believe. Can't ever tell the 8 and the 9 jerseys apart. And nope, Quan's on the sideline. That is number 9, Jordan Adams on the carry. Going to be a gain of 4. 2nd down and 6 coming up. Another thing to keep an eye on, I would pay very close attention to the way the Carolina Reloaded go about stacking the box here against the Chargers. So far, it's looks like they're kind of in a base 3-4, bringing some safeties down a little bit. Whoa, and a low snap, and they tried to pitch that one, and I think that one's going the other way. Wet balls real early. This one's still alive. And, oh, man, this could go all the way back. Mark Littlejohn, the last man to beat. He gets hammered, cutting inside, and brought down by one of the offensive linemen. That is number 74, Kevin Patterson, an absolute disaster for the Chargers. And the rain has already begun to make its presence felt. Talk about flipping the field. Anderson, I use Anderson and Electric City interchangeably since they're in the city of Anderson there. I apologize if that causes any confusion, but I mean, they were on the 15, and now we've got a fumble return all the way out to the other 15-yard line. That is, I mean, I guess you can't quite draw it up much better if you're Carolina. Maybe not exactly the way they would have thought it would go, but they get a turnover on the first drive. Similarly, a bad snap led to a turnover off of a fumble on Electric City's first drive against Charlotte last week as well. They did go on to win that game, but Charlotte did not have nearly as good field position after that fumble as Carolina does now. So we're going to get our first look at this Reloaded offense. Again, the scouting report on them, I haven't seen any video footage from their game last week. They lost that one, I believe, to the Asheville A-team. It was somewhere in the neighborhood of 20-16. It was a pretty close but low-scoring game, maybe 16-12, something like that. But the scouting report is that they want to throw the ball, so I imagine they're going to come out slinging it, and then if they have issues with that, I wouldn't be too terribly surprised if they stick with this sort of 4-wide set, maybe move to trips every now and then, but try and spread that defense out and maybe open up some running lanes in the middle. So 1st down and 10. First possession already has them in the red zone for the Reloaded. Ace formation here, and we got a sweep to the far side of the field and tripped up, and the runner falls down right at the original line of scrimmage. Unfortunately, we do not have a roster for the Reloaded. Reached out to them on Facebook, but I don't think the page I found is active anymore. We were trying to work on getting one earlier. We may be able to turn up with one at halftime, but for now, unfortunately, we're going to have to go with numbers. So I believe that was 11 for the Reloaded on the carry. 2nd down and 10 coming up. All right, here we go. Sticking with that, or actually moving to trips on a bootleg here. And I think the quarterback, is he going to take off? No, he's going to try to throw this thing, and that one almost intercepted, but it's going to be a Carolina touchdown. Didn't get a number on that TV or the receiver, but Anderson tried to jump that route, and it did not pay off. I thought for a second they had the pick, but so far the passing game working out pretty good for the Reloaded. That is 6 for Carolina, and the Chargers are down early in this one. First time they've been down all season. They never trailed in their win against Charlotte. And now looks like they're going to try a 2-point conversion on this one. That was a heck of a catch, heck of a throw. I thought that quarterback was going to take off with it. It was rolling, looked like everything got clogged up. Just a kind of a Randy Moss sort of play. If you're not open, then I'm going to throw it where only you can get it, or it's going out of bounds or falling on the ground. That sort of deal. Sticking with that trips look. And might have been a little movement there, but they don't blow it dead. Looks like at least the same concept. And is he just going to run this in? Yes, he will. Make it 8-0 Reloaded. And the short field pays off. Electric City gives up an early touchdown. As we have, I believe, 8:07 left to go in the first quarter. And that clock is actually rolling. Not something you see that often, but I think the idea here is that as we're starting to see some darker clouds rolling in from the west, I imagine the idea here is to kind of run the clock whenever possible. It's going to result in a shorter game, yeah, but a shorter game means less time in the rain and less potential chance for a lightning delay. I imagine that is priority number 1 right here. We're already a bit behind schedule after that first lightning delay. Nobody out here wants a second one. Kickoff coming up for the Reloaded. Let's see how Electric City responds after that fumble. Everything was going well. There were no issues on the ground. They didn't have to throw it out all. They were moving the ball fine. It was just one little low snap, and then Little John maybe trying to make a little bit too much happen. Maybe just a matter of them not really practicing, bad snap sequences in practice. Could be any number of things. It was a low snap, tried to pitch it to the up man. Up man couldn't quite get the handle on it. And it goes right into the hands of a defensive lineman that returns it almost all the way down the field. Here's the, what was that? Looked like he was going for an onside kick and missed. I don't quite know what that's about. Maybe, I don't know if they ever got the ready for play in. That was an interesting little sequence. Oh, and I think they might be saying that Carolina was too far up. They were lined up on the 35, or on the 30, excuse me, and they've pushed them back to the 25, but the ball itself still on the 30. I mean, I guess we'll find out as soon as they get this kick off. The ref still standing in the way. I suppose you could try to kick it around him. Probably wouldn't work too well, but it's possible, I suppose. And they're waiting on something. Everything looks good to me. I'm not quite sure what the holdup is unless they're wanting the music off. And I believe that's Fonsby Clyburn waiting to kick this one off. And yeah, I mean, the music has got to be what they're waiting on. All right, and it's fading out. I guess if they let him kick it once the song's off, then we'll know that's what's causing the issue. Or hang on, now we got a ref coming in. They were talking with one of the Chargers coaches on the sideline. Maybe that was the holdup. Interesting, especially given that we were just talking about how they were running the clock to try and avoid getting some lightning in here, and then they spend about 2 minutes waiting on a kickoff. This one fielded by, I believe that's actually Clyburn, and he's heading up the sideline. Might have a crease, but he outruns his blocker and goes out of bounds. Number 28, I believe that was Dion Williams blocking for Clyburn there. Another really big return for the Chargers. This one puts them all the way out near the 25, right about where they had it before they fumbled the ball. We'll see how this one goes. Will we see a pass on this drive? I tell you, so far, I mean, even they were running into some loaded boxes there. The box count wasn't necessarily favorable. It wasn't terrible or anything, but they were running into some pretty heavy formations and having success with it. So far, I mean, we talked about it. Are the Reloaded going to find a way to force the Chargers to pass? And so far, at least on that first drive, they have not. Ball is spotted on the 18-yard line. First down and 10. Sticking with that strong formation, worked pretty well for him last time. I think they like the ambiguity as well. You can hand it off to the tight end or the running back or the fullback. This is Turman out of the running back spot and brought down after a gain of, I think they're going to call this 4. So yeah, second down and 6 coming up. Trying to get the edge. It looked like he might have been able to grab that one, but just barely tackled down. Ball moves inside the 15. Second down and 6. And yeah, they had to re-spot it because Turman did get all the way to the far hash. Sticking with the same personnel here. Can't tell if that's Ellis or Kennebrew in at fullback. I believe it's Ellis. And whoa, another fumble here. Littlejohn picks it up and oh, look at this. Flips it. Maybe that was by design. That looked, man, I tell you, for a broken play, that sure looked clean. Number 5 with the reception to Keys Hollings. Touchdown Chargers. Hey, I tell you, especially when the weather's not on your side, whatever works, works. Make it 6-8. A shootout so far here in Liberty, South Carolina. And wait, no, are they calling this one back? Oh, they may be. Still a fantastic play. We'll have to go back and watch the replay. I didn't see the signal from the ref. I was updating the scoreboard. If I had to guess, maybe an illegal man downfield. Yeah, they've moved this to second down and 12, so it was some kind of 5-yard penalty. Could have been one of the offensive linemen getting a little too far. But I tell you, we talked about, football is all about adjustments, responses. When things go wrong, how quickly can you fix them? How quickly can you diagnose the issue? I mean, obviously we know the issue. It's the wet ball causing some problems. Really not so far for the Reloaded, but for the Chargers, we've seen 2 bad snaps now. But, I mean, they adjusted and came up with a solution perfectly for that one. It's a shame it gets called back, but does not change the fact that the Chargers still have the ball. 2nd and 6 becomes 2nd and about 14. This one a handoff up the middle, and we'll get the number here as soon as that pile clears. Whoever it was got him right back to the original line of scrimmage. Going to make it 3rd down and 10. And, shoot, didn't get a number on that one either. I think it was Turman on the carry there. And they're actually going to mark this one a little further back. 3rd down and 12 now. Interesting decision coming up here offensively for the Chargers. Ball on the 20-yard line, but you got to get 12 yards. Do you run the risk of passing it here, or do you try some kind of outside run? Reloaded has been playing single high most of the game. Got press coverage on the far side of the field. Let's see here. And they're going to, nope, play action. Littlejohn looking to throw, had some time, but now going to take off himself. Tries to make a man miss and gets some yardage. Going to turn this into 4th down and reasonable. We saw the Chargers attempt 1 PAT last week. Did not go so well. I believe it got blocked after a low snap. So what's the decision here on 4th down and 7? Looks like the offense is staying on the field. Yep, Littlejohn getting the play in from his coach. So here we go. And technically speaking, the Chargers still have not run a pass play. They tried on that last one. It's going to go down as a rush for Littlejohn, and timeout taken by Electric City. Going to make sure they got all their ducks in a row for this, what has already turned into a pivotal down here with, I think, about 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Reloaded up 8-0 following a fumble on Electric City's first drive. Want to take a moment to remind YouTube's copyright holders and any bots that may be watching this video right now, nobody associated with this live stream, the Electric City Chargers, Carolina Reloaded, CCFL, my dad and I, none of us own any of the rights to any of the music you'll hear during this broadcast. We are not profiting off of any music that is heard during this broadcast. Nobody's making any money off of licensed music. No copyright infringement is intended. All right, so here we go. Littlejohn actually had his helmet off there and putting it back on now. So on the near hash, 4th down and 7. And they're going to go with a stack formation to the near side and split Clyburn out wide as a receiver. Okay, interesting leverage there. They're kind of sorting it out. He was leveraged really hard to the inside there for a second. Single high safety for the Reloaded. It's going to be a 7-ish man box if they want to run this. And play action, Littlejohn looking to throw. His first read was clogged up, and oh, did he catch that? Waiting on a signal from the refs. Touchdown, wait, hang on, what was that signal? It wasn't incomplete or a touchdown. We calling that 6 or not? They gonna talk about it? I mean, obviously Carolina or the Chargers are celebrating. The Reloaded want to say it's out of bounds. It looked from here, just the way that ball came out, that it was going to come up short. I thought for a second Littlejohn might be trying an arm punt or something, but I mean, what a throw. Got just enough distance on that thing. It's sneaking into the back of the end zone, and indeed, we have a touchdown. The Chargers are on the board. First pass play of the game, or first completed pass attempt, I should say, comes off a play action on 4th and 7 and a gotta-have-it situation. Electric City delivers, and now they will go for 2 to try and tie this thing up. Cam Delano in the backfield. 2 receivers and a tight end to Littlejohn's left. And they're going to motion Clyburn. Well, no, they motion him back now. Faking the handoff to Delano. Littlejohn just going to bite this one. Ran out of space. Delano might have had an assignment to block after the fake on that one. Kind of hard to say from up here. Score's going to remain 6-8, but Electric City, I imagine, got to be feeling a lot better after they're finally able to score. Again, their last drive was going pretty well, ended by just a kind of an unlucky fumble. It was a low snap, and then players trying to pitch it around in a wet ball situation usually doesn't go too well for the offense. Carolina able to turn it all the way down to the Chargers' red zone, scored in 2 plays, and that's how we got to where we are. A really, really good response drive there for Electric City, but Carolina looked pretty good on their last possession. I know it was only technically 3 plays with a 2-point conversion. We haven't seen much of them, but what we did see was pretty good. How are they going to respond? Reloaded have 2 return men standing at the 20. Doesn't look like they're expecting too long of a kick here. And the officials making sure everybody's set up. Both teams got 11 on the field. The return men for Carolina have actually moved up to the 25. Maybe expecting a little squib here. Number 78 out to kick this one. This is Andre Talley. little stutter step. Here's the kick, and, well, it does come out to about the 25, so going to be good field position for Carolina, trying to get the edge. Oh, is that a block in the back? Yes.
Did you see that tackle block?
Yeah, that was a kind of a, cameraman pointed out, kind of a tackle block. It was like a block in the back, but he shoved. It was Cameron Delano that got hit, but he kind of ended up shoving him into the return man trying to block him. So it kind of works out in favor for the Chargers. They stop what could have been a pretty nice return there for the Reloaded and push them back a little bit. We'll see where exactly this gets spotted. And they're really moving this thing back, and it's going to be spotted at the 20-yard line, so a long ways to go if the Reloaded want to find the end zone. Had success really well, they ran a play and they got, it looked like they had it was a sweep to the far side of the field. It looked like they might have had a crease, but it closed up right around the line of scrimmage, and then they had that 15-yard touchdown pass. Ace formation here, 4 receivers in the set, 2 on either side, 5-man box for the Chargers. 2 safety look. They're going to run this up the middle and get, could be about 5 yards. We'll see where exactly they spot it.
We are working on it, but we do know what the score is. We do know.
And indeed, that is going to be 2nd down and 5 coming up for the Reloaded. So getting some success on the ground on that play as well. All right, and same formations on both sides. Yeah, Carolina sticking with the ace spread look, 2 safeties for the Chargers, and play fake here, and going over the middle. Looked like a little bit of an RPO. I think it was just a play action slant. Falls incomplete. We got flags down around the line of scrimmage. Was it an RPO? Do we have an illegal man downfield again? Didn't really look like anybody got too far past the line of scrimmage that wasn't supposed to be there. Oh, indeed we do. Illegal man downfield, so that's going to push him back by 5. 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Reloaded. So I suppose that was an RPO. No real way to confirm it. Just you don't see play action slants too much that aren't RPOs. Maybe a couple of years ago, and well, actually, they're going to call this a spot foul. 2nd down and 7, the official down in distance. Wait, no, now they moved it back again. Got an indecisive chain crew down there. Wait, now it's the 3rd and 9. 3rd and 8, somewhere in that neighborhood. All right. 3rd and 8, and no. Got whistles. Yeah, it's I mean, illegal man downfield, it's not loss of down. I think that's what they're trying to figure out. And they're still talking about this one. Yeah, by my count, it was 2nd and 5. They got called for an illegal man downfield. So by my count, I would think we're looking at 2nd and 10 unless... Oh, are they saying that? Are they saying the Chargers must have declined the penalty? Okay. So interesting decision there, but I can see wanting to get the defense off the field in a hurry. So the penalty was declined. Here's 3rd down and 5. Quarterback in trouble and just barely gets out of there. Gonna have to bail again. Looking downfield. Oh, and it's dropped. Had a man open, but could not hang on. That was a great looking pass, but be it because of a wet ball or I'm not sure what happened, but the result is the same. Incomplete pass, 4th down and 5 coming up, and I mean, you can't go for this. Even if it is early in the game, you can't go for this. If it was at midfield, maybe, but this is in all likelihood going to be a punt. Looks like Carolina. Yeah, I think they were thinking about it for a second, but it looks like they're going to wait. Hang on, that's a quarterback and a running back out there. They going for this? It looks like they're going for this, but they only got like 10 guys on the field. Unless they're running trips to the boundary. All right, so they check in a receiver at tight end. This is 4th down and 5. Gotta watch that play clock. It took them a while to get this play in. And the Chargers have a man very, very deep, expecting a pooch punt here. Oh, and that's exactly what they get. And this one lands lands and bounces way, way back. So that was a pretty good turn of events for Carolina, given that they probably barely just got the play off. Takes a nice reloaded bounce all the way down to the 30, and the Chargers will have a long field here when they get set for their third possession of the game. Interesting turn of events there. We are still not quite out of the first quarter. Looks like we got, I think, 4:43. It's a little hard to see the timer from here. Last week, for those of you that tuned in, it was all too easy to see the timer because it was, I guess I'd rather have overcast with a chance of rain than the just insane heat we had last week. It was wildly hot. This a little more manageable, I think, for all parties involved. Ball on the 30-yard line. And it looks like the Reloaded are in a kind of nickel set, and I think they thought about bringing out an extra linebacker. Now they switch him out. Maybe more of a 4-2-5-ish look. A little bit different than what they've been running. This is actually a lighter box than what they've been coming out with. In the meantime, looks like we got about the same formation offensively for Electric City. 3 receivers and a tight end. I believe that's Clyburn in the backfield, but I'm not 100% sure. Here's the handoff to whichever player it is. Takes it up the middle for a gain of 3 yards. And I believe that's Clyburn. The first number is 1. And indeed, that is Fonsby Clyburn on the carry. And ball is spotted. Yep, 2nd down and 7. Spotted on the 33-yard line. They're subbing out one of their offensive linemen. They switched centers for a play. Interesting there. Other than the substitution, same formation. Little John in the shotgun. And hands this one off to Clyburn. Got a crease, heading down the sideline, and cannot outrun the rest of that defense, but he sure got close to it. He's still going, heading onto the track. That's well more than enough for a first down. Electric City is out past midfield for the 3rd time this game. All 3 possessions have at least gone past the 50. Ball spotted on the 45, so I think they're saying Clyburn went out of bounds maybe just a tad earlier than we thought he did, and now he is subbing out, going to get some well-deserved rest, and we will see which one of their many running backs they're bringing in for this one. I believe that's Ellis, and now they're bringing one of those receivers inside, so a tighter formation than what they've been working with, and kind of a I formation looking run up the middle. A motion receiver in to use the guy they had at running back as a fullback, but it gets pushed back very, very well by that Reloaded defense. Prydock there on the carry, though. He did not get much. And I think they're going to call this 2nd down, and he got a yard. 2nd down and 9, but it was a hard-earned yard at that. All right, and we have got 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter now. Still sticking with that single high safety look are the Reloaded. And same formation offensively for the Chargers. 1 tight end, 3 receivers, 1 running back. Ellis still in the game. And here's the snap, handoff. No, it's play action. Little John going way downfield, tipped and almost intercepted. Needed to get just a little bit more air under it. Had really 2 guys open on that one. 2 receivers in the same place. Looked like maybe a slant post route combination there. If that ball had cleared the linebackers, they would have been looking at a big gain. But still, the overall stat line for Little John, not too bad. 1 of 2 passing for about maybe 15 yards-ish and a touchdown. Here's 3rd down and 9 for the Chargers. Don't know if they'll do it here because they're a lot further away from the end zone than they were last time, but last time they were in a 3rd and long situation, they just kind of ran it, tried to set up for 4th and manageable, which did pay off, but Again, I think they feel pretty comfortable in their defense, their punting game. We'll see how exactly they play this. If I had to guess, especially given that last pass almost got picked, they probably are going to stick with the ground game, but I'm not no C. They've got some inside leverage there with their receiver at the top of the screen if they won't try that. Maybe some kind of little seam route. And Turman motions out of the backfield. They're going to throw a screen to him. Oh, and he sheds through some blockers. And heading down the sideline. Couldn't quite tightrope it to the end zone. That is still another big play for Jesse Turman. Almost in the exact same spot that he pulled his last one. He had a 50-yard or so run last week against the Bengals along that same sideline. So, kind of a little, as Mike Leach's followers might call it, a little bit of a long handoff there. Not quite a run play, but it's a run play. So almost barely a forwards pass. Screen out to the running back. And really, I mean, Turman didn't even need the blockers on that one. And, oh, we got a man down for the Chargers. Keys Hollings, the man down. And they got him back up on his feet. And I think he's going to get some help off to the sideline.
Appreciate it. Hopefully he's all right.
So hopefully Hollings is okay. Didn't quite see what happened on that one. Definitely shaken up though, and it's going to affect the play calling a little bit too because Hollings is one of their leading receivers. Had that incredible run and catch touchdown at the buzzer last week against the Bengals. Close out the first half. We've seen 3 pass attempts so far. Could the Chargers get even more run heavy with one of their best weapons on offense out for the foreseeable future? Again, fingers crossed that he can come back, and he's just a little shaken up. They're putting Clyburn in the backfield now. Still sticking with that 3-receiver set. And something went wrong there. It looked like for a second they only had 10 guys in the formation, but that was because their tight end, number 30, Timothy Orange, was getting some last bit of advice from his coach and couldn't quite make it there before the play clock ran out. So one of the teams that had to take a timeout, I believe it was Electric City. So 1st down and 10 coming up here following the Turman catch and run on 3rd and 9.
Check. I want to let everybody know. That we do have that concession stand open. I don't know if you had a chance to get them hot dogs last week. I'm telling you, you don't know what you're missing. I don't know what else they got. I'm gonna try to get a menu, y'all, but I know we got some Gatorade. I know we got them hot dogs over there with some homemade chili or something like that, man. As I always say, you better try it.
All right, and I tell you, in the meantime, might want to keep an eye on the Chain Gang, too. We've got some animosity brewing down there. I think they got some kids doing it this time around. Always good to see the young ones getting into it, but they were literally getting into it. I saw a couple of them kicking at each other. It was the guy running the line of scrimmage and the first down marker, so interesting to see how the chemistry between those two works out for the rest of the game. Motioning Clyburn out of the backfield. Littlejohn looking to throw, fakes the screen to Clyburn, and this one going way long. Oh, almost an incredible interception. Couldn't quite reel it in. Clyburn looks like he wants PI, but I didn't see anything wrong there. Just almost a fantastic grab. Great effort there by that DB. Kind of a similar throw to the touchdown pass Littlejohn had earlier as we close in on the end of the first quarter. Just trying to floating one up, trying to get it over the head of the defender, but I think that would have had to have been about 10 feet off the ground to clear that guy. He wanted it. 2nd down and 10. So the absence of Hollings not seeming to affect the passing game, at least from a play calling standpoint. As 2nd down and 10 comes up, sticking with that 11 personnel look. They have not gone back to that strong formation we saw on their first drive or so. And here's the hand. Oh, something went wrong. Clyburn had all sorts of space. And I think we're about to find out why. And whatever it was, maybe a false start by the offense, because it did look like the Reloaded defense just a step behind on that one. Second down and 10 becomes second down and 15 following the penalty. All right, and here we go. Chargers breaking the huddle. I tell you, it seems like a quiet night out here. There's a lot of yelling and communicating between players and coaches down there on the field, but the microphone's not quite picking it up, so it's eerily quiet on the stream. And 11 personnel, but a trips look to the far side of the field. Littlejohn looking to throw, got some time, going for the curl in, incomplete. Led his man a little too far outside. Number 18, Zay Smith. Zanvion Smith, an old Upstate Dragon, the intended receiver on that one. So third down and 15 coming up. We're going to see a little bit of that play calling philosophy come back here. Do they try and go for it all at once? Do they run, some kind of draw, maybe not quite wave the white flag, but, conservative play call, just play field position, or are they going to try and run something mid-range, an outside run, maybe up the middle if they get a good count in the box, little screen to try and set up a fourth and manageable. The only ones that know right now are the offensive coordinator and the men in that huddle. In other news, Hollings is up and walking over on the sideline, so that's great to see that he's at least mostly okay. Again, fingers crossed that he can return to the game. I know these guys love being out there. This is the highlight of their week. All right, two receivers on either side of the formation. Here's the throw. Littlejohn having to deal with some pressure. Splits two guys, makes one man miss, spins out of another tackle, and falls forward past the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be fourth down and long, but nowhere near as long as 4th and 15. Where are they going to spot this one? It looked to me like we're looking at 4th and 8, maybe? And maybe not quite as generous a spot as the Chargers were hoping for. 4th down and 10, and looks like we got some substitutions there. Guys coming in from the sideline. The guys that were heading out looked like offensive linemen. But Littlejohn's going back into the huddle here. Maybe they're setting up for a pooch punt like we saw the Reloaded try on their last drive. Interesting choices to make here, I should say. Also worth noting that, there's nothing wrong with having blocking tight ends, especially given how much the Chargers run the ball, but they have not been incorporated in the passing game quite as much as I would have thought they would have been, especially with as much as they run it. You would think they'd be able to, maybe pop one over the middle. And not sure if that's a timeout. If we hit the end of the quarter, we've got to be closing in on the end of the first. We were at 2 minutes just a moment ago, but they don't appear to be respotting the ball, so we're going for it. 4th down and 10, ball on the 21-yard line. Chargers just outside of the red zone, but they need 10 yards or some kind of defensive penalty to keep this one going. Might see a hard count here, too. And nope, straight drop back for Littlejohn, going for the end zone. Oh, almost! Did he catch that? No, they say incomplete. I saw a little bit of a wobble there. I thought they might give it to him, but still a fantastic effort there. I believe, again, that's Zanvion Smith. Yep, number 18 there with the target. Catch or not, that was still a fantastic effort on that one by Smith. I remember it's been years now, but if that's the same Zanvion Smith that was with the Upstate Dragons, I suppose there could be more than one. He was He was one of those guys that would give it 100% on every single play, even if it was just menial stuff, special teams, like a field PAT block, trying to return a kickoff that was all the way on the other side of the field. He was giving it 110% every single time he was on the field. Gave it 110% on that one. Comes up a little bit short, but again, I think, depending on the referee, they could have called that complete or incomplete, kind of a 50-50 ball in the sense that it can kind of go complete or incomplete as opposed to, incomplete or intercepted. So that's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Chargers. They'll call that, the 1st down and 10 for the Reloaded, excuse me. They will call that 4th down pass attempt the last play of the first quarter. We are now switching sides, and the Reloaded will take over pretty deep in their own territory here. 1st down and 10 from their own 21-yard line. So it's a bit of a disappointment offensively, obviously, to not come up with the points, but the field position definitely not bad, especially considering that the Reloaded have gotten some pretty good kick returns so far. Both teams have. So a long ways to go if they want to hit pay dirt. They made it look easy on their first drive, but things kind of stiffened up by way of penalties, untimely drops the last time we saw them. But it feels like it's been forever since they've been out on the field. Chargers really controlling time of possession to this point. And got to change the score bug real quick. We are in the 2nd quarter now. And got a little bit of confusion here. The refs standing in the middle of the offensive line blocking the snap. I think we got some substitution issues. I can't quite tell what's going on. It's going to be a 3-by-1 set. And yep, so here we go. Sticking with that four receiver look. Dime package defensively for the Chargers. Or actually down to more of a nickel look now. Yeah, 2 linebackers, and they got one of their slot corners kind of playing a hybrid safety corner position. Still lined up on that middle receiver, but he's got a really big cushion. Enough to where he could drop back into deep zone if he needed to, but I don't know if he's going to get the opportunity because it sounded like they whistled it dead, but the play never even got started. If that was the ready for play, it did not sound like it. And more confusion again, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Everything looks good to go to me. I don't see any issues. Carolina's got 11 men out there. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 11 for the Chargers. Ball's on the 21. Far hash. Yeah, we're good to go. All right, and there's the ready for play. Now we got it. 1st down and 10 for the Reloaded. Looking back to pass, sending everybody deep. Going to take off. And the quarterback's got the edge and might have just enough for a 1st down. It was definitely close. And we saw that last week as well. The Chargers, for as well as they did on defense, their defensive line in particular looked really good against kind of a patchwork group for Charlotte. But the quarterback runs did cause them some issues, especially late on in that game. And there was one drive in particular at the end of the first half where Charlotte finally got the ball moving after just kind of stalling out all day. They ran a lot of empty and a lot of quarterback draws on that drive. Reloaded, maybe doing a little bit of homework before this one. Guess we'll see. Still sticking with that 3-by-1 look. No substitutions on either side, looks like. Here's the snap, another roll. And looking long. Oh, wide open. And this is going to be a 1st down, Carolina. So kind of maybe a little bit of a run and shoot approach here. I mean, they're definitely airing it out just like the scouting report said, but I didn't expect to see as much movement from the cornerback as we have. We have not really seen any straight dropbacks, if that. It's all been rollouts. Maybe not quite full-on bootlegs where you're in motion the entire time, but definitely some quarter rolls, half rolls. They've been moving him. He has not been a stationary passer, but it's worked so far. Almost across midfield now. Ball spotted on the 46-yard line. 1st down and 10. And whoa, bad snap through the quarterback's legs. Can he get rid of it? No, ball is loose and recovered by the Reloaded. They really dodged a bullet on that one. You could probably make the argument that his arm was coming forward on that. Looked to actually bore an eerie resemblance to the tuck rule play that Tom Brady had against the Raiders. But regardless, it's going to be a big loss, and that's really going to set him back. Second down and 20 plus here. I think 21 is going to be the official call. Ball spotted on the 35. All right, and here we go. 2-by-2 set now. And Electric City bringing a safety down. So the lone man back there is Jared Watkins. And, oh, going for a little out route and caught at the 40-yard line, looking for some more, and won't get too much further. Close to the original line of scrimmage, but not quite there. It's going to be third down and 14 coming up. So the Reloaded looking to extend their lead as we surely we're past the halfway point in the second quarter. Again, apologize for the issues with the time, or actually they got it. Oh, that's the issue. Yeah, so the scoreboard they were using last week is not working, and that's why it was so dark, but there's a gigantic scoreboard at the corner of the stadium that I somehow did not see. So we have got 11:54 to go in the second quarter. My apologies for that. Sticking with that 2-by-2 set, third and 14. And back to pass, quarterback on the move, looking long. Does he have his man? Oh, and is that pass interference? Flag is out. Jared Watkins, I think he kind of had to do what he had to do to break that one up. It was coming in low. It was going to be a tough catch, but kind of a little bit of insurance there, I guess you could say, making sure it comes up incomplete, but it's going to be a first down regardless. Doesn't go down as a completion, but it's as good as one. For third and 14, they have technically converted. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down. Ball is going to be inside the 50, inside the 40, at the 33-yard line. And the Chargers coaches, arguing. I think that might have come through on the stream. They're really fired up about it. The refs are calling this a spot foul, so that's why it's actually a little more than 15 yards. So it really is as good as a completion now. The refs wanting 15. Still kind of going with that nickel look for the Chargers. Been a while since we've seen the dime, and almost another disaster. Good job by that running back to fall on the loose ball. Going to be another loss on first down here. Second down and 14 coming up for the Reloaded. All right, and no formational changes on either side. Single high look now. Jared Watkins, the lone safety on this play. And straight drop back now, and got a man wide open. Coverage busted, he dropped it. Oh man, that is the second just huge drop for the Reloaded. They had one earlier on what would have been a third and long conversion. Can't come up with this one either. That wet ball really rearing its ugly head here for the Reloaded. I mean, that is just major. Just gotta have that, especially in a tight game like this. So, clock stops at 10:44. Third down and 14 coming up for Carolina. They have had no issue moving the ball in chunks. Do they have 14 yards in them? We'll see, but especially given where they will be, even if they just get past the original line of scrimmage, they're absolutely in no man's land right now. I suppose they could run a pooch punt if they don't get this one, try and pin the Chargers real deep, but as aggressive as they've been offensively so far, I would imagine we're looking at four down territory. So don't be surprised if you get a little hitch here or something, just trying to set up a fourth and manageable. Quarterback rollout and looking to throw. That one is intercepted. Oh, fantastic read there, but I believe that's number 17 for the Chargers. Michael Jameson with the pick. Jumped the comeback route. Just a fantastic play, and that one is really going to shift momentum. The Reloaded maybe trying to make just a little bit too much happen. They were going for the first down. Just not quite enough velocity on that throw to pull that off. Jamison saw it all the way through, and now that play forever immortalized on YouTube. Hats off to Michael Jamison. Fantastic interception. First down and 10 for the Chargers. Oh no, and we have just got stories developing everywhere. We've got a dude that got pulled over in the parking lot of the stadium. He's got 2 cops on him. He was going too fast down the road. I tell you, I feel like everybody was going quick because there was a major traffic jam on the highway. We thought we weren't going to get here in time for the game, and then lo and behold, lightning delay. We don't start until half an hour behind schedule. And here's a run by Fonsby Clyburn, I believe. Yep, that's number 11, twisting and turning for a gain of 6 yards. Second down and 4 coming up. Ball is, I mean, just half a yard or so shy of the 30-yard line. Still a long field to go, but I imagine the Chargers will take a long field, no points every day of the week if it means keeping that reloaded offense off the scoreboard. We'll be below 10 minutes to go in the second by the time this ball gets snapped. 7-man box for Carolina. Here's the handoff and going nowhere. Maybe still, actually, he's going somewhere all right. Fonsby Clyburn, talking about dragging the pile. That was probably the most amazing loss of 2 yards I've ever seen. I mean, that effort was incredible. And I think they're going to give him some forward progress, throw him a little bit of a bone. Yeah, only a loss of half a yard really on that one. Third down and 5. Yeah, again, without a doubt, one of the best plays for a loss offensively I've ever seen. Fantastic effort by Clyburn, just trying to make something out of nothing. And great job to hang on to that football, too. It really looked like Carolina was trying to strip that thing. You'd think both sides would have more success with that, given that we're kind of in a wet ball environment right now, but things maybe starting to dry up a little bit. We have not had rain. Gonna knock on wood there. We have not had rain ever since that little drizzle at the start of the game. It's not clear out here. It was still mostly overcast, but we're getting a pretty good view over the horizon past some of these trees. In the meantime, it's third down and 5. Can the Chargers cash in and convert? And got a 6-man protection. Little John looking for his tight end, and is that one intercepted? Yes, it is! Bobbled and caught by the reloaded defense. The one time they send the tight end out, the reloaded defense was prepared for it. I think they were just as suspicious as we were. So they got this tight end. They haven't used him as a receiver all game long. It's got to be coming. They try to hit him up the seam, and Little John throws a pick. Just got a little too keyed in on one receiver there. Got to make sure you're seeing the whole field as a quarterback. And the ball is almost exactly where the reloaded had it when they threw that interception. First down and 10 on the Chargers 45. .8:31 to go here in the first half. And the Chargers making sure they got all their ducks in a row. Now making even more substitutions. They're really trying to make sure they got the right personnel in on this play. They're still trying to figure it out. And yeah, I figured timeout coming here. Yeah, it was mostly in the secondary. I think they couldn't decide. I think they knew they were going nickel, but they were having trouble figuring out who was going where, who was going to be in the formation, who wasn't. And hopefully they got time to get this sorted out. I believe that's the last time out of the half. Both teams have really started burning through them. So that flip side there, the Chargers get a chance to regroup defensively, but now the Reloaded have seen at least a general idea of what they're trying to run. They were probably looking at some kind of nickel formation, so that gives them the added bonus of saying, hey, you know what they're coming out in. How do we plan against that? What's our best play against the nickel package? They've been running single high a lot. We haven't really seen them try to beat that vertically. We haven't seen, the classic four verts, seams or streak routes along the outside, make the safety pick aside, pull the other way. Haven't seen that. Been a lot of rolling, not quite bootlegs, but definitely some flood concepts, getting receivers at different levels on the same side of the field and picking the one that's got the best chance of coming up with a reception. And I tell you, looking at this formation, if I had to guess, it might be a roll to the left. But again, I'm not an OC. Trying to bounce this run to the outside. Stiff arms a man, but surrounded by Chargers, and that is a major loss. All the way back past the 50, now into their own territory, or the Reloaded. Just trying to make a little too much happen on that run. It is a loss of 8 yards. Tried to bounce it to the outside. First hole wasn't there, second hole wasn't there, tried to find a third one, and the third one never quite showed up. Second down and 18, fantastic pursuit by that Chargers defense. Ball on the near side hash. And we got to change at running back now. I wouldn't have even noticed, because, again, apologies, we still don't have that Reloaded roster, but they've had one player with a silver helmet out there. It looks almost identical to a Panthers helmet. Everybody else has black ones. Wouldn't have noticed unless he had that different colored helmet. Still that single high nickel package defensively. Running a screen to the outside, not happening. The Chargers were all over that one. We'll get a number on that one as soon as we can. I believe that, can't quite tell if that's a 0 or a 9. Well, no, that wasn't Jordan Adams. He's a linebacker. So I think that's Prydock. Kymir Prydock with the pass breakup. Third down and 18 coming up. Again, apologies if that wasn't Prydock. As soon as he comes closer to the other hash, we'll be able to get a number. Single high nickel package, 3 receivers to the far side of the formation, and they got one of them matched up on a linebacker. Are they going to try and take advantage of that matchup? It's a roll to the far side, quarterback under duress, throwing, and if that was caught, it's going to be well short of the line to gain, and they do say it's complete, so really good job of keeping those feet in bounds, but it's going to set up 4th down and at least 10, possibly 11. They've got a long way to go if they want to keep this drive moving. 6:26 to go in the second quarter. 4th down and 11, the official call. So a gain of 7 on 3rd and 18. We saw the Chargers do this on their touchdown drive. They were faced with a 3rd and long. Got about half of it on 3rd down. Came back on 4th after regrouping following a timeout and threw a nice looking touchdown. Can the Reloaded have that same kind of luck? And making some changes here, bringing off some offensive linemen, and I think they're going to punt this one. Or actually, no, now they're, I looked for a second like those receivers were lining up as gunners. Now they're bringing in a split backfield look. I'm not sure if this is going to be a punt or not. That Chargers defense needs to be ready for anything. They do not have a return man deep. And, whoa, fumbled snap. I think he was going to try to kick it, and he gets hammered in the backfield instead. They may as well have gone for it. I think that will technically go down as a quarterback sack. Ball is spotted right at the 50-yard line. They needed 10 yards, and they lost 4. 1st down and 10 coming up in spectacular fashion for the Chargers, forcing, technically speaking, another turnover. And they've got 50 yards to pay dirt. The Chargers received the opening half kickoff, so the Reloaded will get it to start the second half. We'll see how Little John recovers from throwing that interception. It's been an interesting kind of situation from an offensive play calling standpoint, because ever since Hollings got injured, which I don't think he's back in the game now. He doesn't have his helmet, but he is still up and standing, so it's good to see that he's all right. Ever since he went out with that injury, Hollings, one of their leading receivers, they've actually started passing it more. And, okay, I've never seen that before. A referee threw his flag up in the air and then caught it on its way down. And I think he's saying illegal substitution here. And that's going to be a 5-yard penalty against Electric City. All right, here we go. They got it sorted out now. Ball now on the 44-yard line. And here's that strong formation. We haven't seen this in a while. Bobby Kinnebrew and Jesse Turman, two of their most powerful backs in the backfield. Turman going to fullback here, and it's a dive off tackle. Only a gain of about 2 yards. Kinnebrew on the carry. And they're going to call this 2nd down and 12. Maybe 2nd down and 11, depending on which angle you look at it from. Ball spotted on the 48-yard line. All right, and they've switched centers again. Jordan Adams in at center now. It's the 3rd different guy they've used. And same formation, but they flip it. Kinnebrew as the fullback now. Jesse Turman fighting to get back just to the line of scrimmage. Might have gained half a yard. So the Chargers not quite able to replicate the success on the ground that they had earlier in this game. The Reloaded just all over 2 consecutive runs. 3rd down and 11 coming up. So now another interesting decision here. We just saw the Reloaded go for it on 4th and 10. They ended up turning it over, gave the Chargers pretty good field position, but now Electric City having to ask themselves, okay, do we try and pick all this up? Maybe, go medium, intermediate, set up for a 4th and medium, or do they want to run a screen or a draw here, something conservative, and play field position? Give the Reloaded a long field to work with. It's still 3rd down. It's not 4th. Single high look, but that box is loaded. Fake handoff. Littlejohn under pressure makes one man miss, but he's got a hold of his jersey, and Littlejohn goes down. And now the decision obvious for the Chargers. You cannot go for this. I mean, surely they won't. It's going to be 4th down and I believe 18, if not more. Yeah, 4th down and I think 23 is going to be the number. 4th and 23. Littlejohn coming off the field, and they are getting ready to kick this one away. Great defensive hold there by the Reloaded. And now the Chargers having some difficulty in figuring out which personnel they're going to go with here. I still don't think they got 11. I'm counting. Yeah, I'm only counting 9. Well, they got 10. They still need one more unless there's somebody I'm not seeing. Maybe this is part of the plan, and it's going to be a delay of game. So some serious issues in getting the punt team out there. I guess they didn't anticipate having to kick away too much this week. 4th and 23 becomes 4th and 28. Jesse Turman is getting ready to send this one away. All right, here we go. They got 11 out there now. Here we go. Only 2 protectors on this one, but the Reloaded don't appear to be sending too much heat. And even then, they almost got to it. Going to be a very high punt, and no illegal flag for that one, and tackled at what would have been the line to gain for the Chargers. Only a 28-yard punt, but technically speaking, it does flip the field. The Reloaded going to be spotted at 41 and a half, pretty much, 42-yard line, whichever you want to call it. Got a ways to go to pay dirt, but 3:06 on the clock. They can time this up, score here, and then score coming out of the half. They could be looking at a pretty big lead by the time the Chargers get the ball next. But that's all on paper, of course. So far, scoring has been a big issue for both sides. Neither team could seem to get out of their own way. And Chargers appear to be switching to a 3-3-5 look here. And nope, check that. That's still the nickel package they've been using. They just split one of their defensive ends out a little wider than usual. First down and 10. And back to pass. We got a quarterback change for the Reloaded. And caught on the little hitch route, and going to be a gain of 8. Second down and possibly second down and 1 coming up, depending on where they spot him. So yeah, we got a new quarterback in for Carolina. I didn't think the last one was doing all that bad, but they've actually split him out as a receiver, I believe. Or actually, shit, I can't remember if he was 5 or 4. Yeah, they split their old quarterback out as a receiver, and they got a new one in. They've deepened that shotgun, too. This is a 7-yard shotgun formation on 2nd and 1. And here we go. Very deep drop under pressure. Just trying to get rid of this thing and accidentally steps out of bounds. Ran out of real estate. We got a flag. This might be a late hit. Looked like one of the Chargers ran into the Reloaded bench area. And the ref's talking this one over. Neither side really moving yet. Got some arguing. Are they saying holding? All right, and they say holding against the Reloaded on that one. Makes sense. There was a lot of movement, lateral movement there in the backfield. Doesn't surprise me too terribly that somebody might have gotten held and all that. The penalty will be accepted. Going to be second down, and they're calling this all the way back to even further. Wow. Okay, maybe I misread that. That might not have been a hold. That or this is one of the longest penalties I've ever seen. I don't know how you go from 2nd and 1 to 3rd or 2nd and 20 plus. Wow, possibly 2 penalties enforced on the same play. This is 2nd down and 28 with a 2nd string quarterback in. No pressure. Again, it was just I didn't necessarily think their starting quarterback was doing all that bad. They've taken him out of the game now. They put him out at receiver for one play, maybe hurting a little bit. We're not quite sure. But they've got quarterback number 2, jersey number. And going to be a deep drop here, under duress again, taken off. And just going to try and get some of this back. Surrounded by Chargers. Almost slipped through them. Got past the 30. And this is going to bring up 3rd down and only 20. Comparatively speaking, it's not near as bad as 3rd and 28. And actually going to spot this right at the 30. So 3rd and 21. Line to gain is the Chargers 49. Clock has stopped at 1:47 to go in the 2nd quarter. Again, this decision to switch quarterbacks pretty interesting. I mean, I know he had the 1 interception, maybe a couple of bad snaps here and there, but I didn't necessarily that was enough to merit taking him out of the game. The good plays, at least in my eyes, did far outweigh the bad, even though they've only gotten 8 points to show for it. But when they had time to throw, especially when they got him in a rhythm, they were rolling him out. They were running those flood concepts to the near side sidelines, rolling him in the same direction as receivers. He was looking good. Getting open windows. They had this Chargers defense on the ropes. And then between just a lot of stoppages, a couple of bad plays here and there, they had to, it seems at least, they've gone back to the drawing board, swapped quarterbacks, and now their starter is back out there, but once again as a receiver. It was definitely quick. He's got the wheels to catch some passes if need be. And really, I mean, judging from the body language, it doesn't look like either side is all that certain of what they're doing here. The Chargers secondary looking a little confused. They're Reloaded in a stacked formation right now on 3rd and 21. It seems to be giving the DBs a little bit of trouble, but usually the best way to defend that is just to line up side by side. Still a 4-wide set. And here we go, nickel package defensively. Jared Watkins, the lone safety, under serious pressure. Now got some room to throw, and ball is loose, picked up by one of the receivers. but he only gets it back to the original line to gain, and that is going to be 4th down and 21. It looked to me like he might have had some space to throw that ball once he cleared that first tackler, but maybe got a little bit flustered. Maybe that defensive player was crashing a little bit faster than we realized. Not quite sure, but they're going to have to punt this one unless they, I don't know, maybe want to run kind of an arm punt sort of thing. Just roll it up, hope it gets picked off, something like that. Looks like they've got their starting quarterback in. We saw him pooch punt back in the first quarter. So I think that's the route they're going to be going with here. They do have, the Chargers, I should say, have a return man deep. That is number 21, Josh Ellis. Still 8-6 after what we thought could have been a pretty explosive really an explosive game. The first 3 drives got some points. Chargers turned it over on their first, scored on their second. The Reloaded scored on their first and had to punt on their second. And since then, it has just been a defensive showdown. Pretty reminiscent, actually, of the second half of last week's game between the Chargers and the Bengals. And do we have a delay game here? I think we do. Indeed. So that's twice now that we've seen these teams not sure of who to put out there for a punt. Again, I suppose, I mean, I can't confirm what they have been practicing, but assuming that they haven't put a lot of practice time into, punt formations, who's going where on special teams, I gotta say, I like their confidence. So you say, man, we're so confident in our offense, we don't even need to practice the punting, at least not more than absolutely necessary, because we expect to be scoring, but neither team been able to put up many points, and that one partially blocked. And the Reloaded just got to be careful not to touch this one, and actually fielded by one of their own men. Past the 50, ball going to be spotted at the Charger 44-yard line. 1:29 to go here. So, interesting decision now offensively. They have not had much success on the air or on the ground. Little John, for those of you that have seen the arena games we've streamed on this channel between the Palmetto Colts and Carolina Predators, when Little John has time to throw, he can be a really good rhythm passer. Just dinking and dunking down the field, going underneath coverage. Okay, I got some weird feedback on the microphone there. But yeah, he's a polished passer when he has time to throw and when he has open receivers to throw to. The key, at least from what we've seen, has been making him not hold the ball for too long. Give him some quick reads. If he gets it out quickly, doesn't overthink what's going on, that is when he's at his best. Maybe a half-field read, outside, inside. If both of those are closed off, check it to the running back. Something like that. Nothing too complex. But if he's got some quick throws and time to get them off, the Chargers absolutely have the personnel to run a 2-minute drill here and score before the end of the half. They've got their speed guy, Fonsby Clyburn, in at running back. Though, if I'm not mistaken, they've only got 10 guys out there. And yeah, they have to motion Braddock out there as a slot receiver. And now they've got to be careful about the play clock. I don't know if they're going to get this snap off. And now, hang on, that's 12. And they snap the ball. That's 12 men on the field at the snap. Braddock just going to take the sweep. Going to be a loss of 3. And heck, I imagine that will be declined. 2nd and 13 is, no different than 1st and 15, especially given that they ran 9 seconds off the clock on that play. 80 seconds to go in the second quarter. And miscommunications running rampant on both sides here. Apologize for the score bug issue. That was not 4th and 21. That was 1st and 10. But now we're probably looking at either 1st and 15 or 2nd and 13. All right, and the chain gang still has this marked as 1st and 10. So we'll put it there for now, just tentatively. I don't expect that to hold. And yeah, they're marching it back. Yeah, they're moving this way back. Way back. And there must have been a personal foul that's at the tail end of that I didn't see. This is going to be 1st down and 25. So I think the decision now, much clearer. Try and run this and just get out of the half. They have struggled on, third and long situations. I think 25, even with 3 downs to do it, is just a little bit out of the question given where they are right now offensively. Give them a chance to regroup after the half. I'm sure they'll have the adjustments necessary to pull something like this off. But right now, I think their best move might just be to run it. Or maybe the hard count. And Littlejohn thought he had a free play, but they blow this one dead. Again, we mentioned that last week. Littlejohn really, really good at the hard count when it comes down to it. He doesn't use it that often. He can't, or else it doesn't work too much. But when he does try it, he more often than not gets them to jump. So first down and 25 turns into first and 20. They actually ran 1 second off during that snap, so 1 minute 19 to go in this half. Same formation. Looks like they're going to go with the same play they had called. I didn't see them huddle up. And they will motion the fullback to the other side of the formation. It's going to be a run for Clyburn. Got a crease and runs right into a linebacker. That linebacker was not going to miss that tackle. And little pat on the helmet from running back to the linebacker after that one. And the Chargers don't appear to be in much of a hurry, but now we got a whistle. I'm not sure if that was was that a ready for play or a timeout? Clock is still rolling. It is going to be second down and 15, gain of 5 on that run. Sticking to that strong look. And here we go. Another hand. Oh, wait, no. Play fake. Littlejohn under duress. Now slinging this one deep. I think we might have an arm punt, and that one is dropped. Clock will stop. Or clock has not stopped. It hit the ground at about 28 seconds, but it's still rolling. I mean, that was an incomplete pass. And yeah, everybody kind of motioned at the scoreboard. The rest calling for it to stop. It was about 28 seconds, I'd say. Got some Chargers motioning up to the booth. That was I'd say 28 or 29. And the clock has, they only caught it at 14.5, so we'll have to put that time back on. But I'm not sure, the refs don't have microphones, so I'm not quite sure how they'll relay that message to the timekeeper. Littlejohn really got away with one there. It was I appreciate the aggressiveness in trying to go deep, but that route was absolutely capped off. Threw it a little too far. If they'd gone for a back shoulder fade, I mean, maybe. But they tried those a couple times last week, and they floated a little and got thrown out of bounds. So maybe trying to go for more of a jump ball situation. That one just went a little too far. And they are not going to put that time back on the clock. This is third down and 15 seconds to go. And Littlejohn under duress once again, going down. Hits his head hard on the way back. And that is going to bring up fourth down, but I don't know that the Reloaded have a timeout to use. And that is going to bring an end to the first half. So, kind of an anticlimactic chain of events there. So we thought they were going to go on a 2-minute drive, and they weren't, and then they were, and then finally they just kind of run out of time there. Littlejohn takes a really big shot, but he looks to be okay. 8-6, a defensive standoff here as we head into halftime. We'll be back in about 15 minutes.
So we've got some nachos over there for $3. You want chili on it? All right, boys, let's go.
All right, and we are back after, I don't think that was quite 15 minutes, kind of moving a little quick here. Again, just trying to make sure we beat any rain that could be coming in. I know it was forecasted to get a lot more than we ended up getting, so fortunately things gone well so far. Hopefully the weather holds up. The Chargers got the opening kickoff. They had a good drive going, ended up fumbling. So now it's the Reloaded's turn to start out as we begin the third quarter. Kick is up and fielded inside the 25. Got a knock. Oh my goodness! The helmet has come off for the return man. What a way to start things out. That was number 10 with the tackle. Oh no, I feel weird calling that just a tackle. That was outright impact. What a hit. All right, and grabbing the number here, I believe that was Jonah Richardson with the fantastic hit to start the second half out. 8-6 is your score. Both teams, well, they didn't score on their opening possessions. Electric City scored on their second possession, and the Carolina Reloaded scored on their first. Since then, it has been a defensive showdown. Neither side can seem to get out of their own way. We've had bad plays, just, bad luck, bad drops, bad snaps, some interceptions on both sides. It's been a battle of turnovers, a war of attrition, and I mean, obviously, the side that gets their offense going is going to be able to come out with a win here today. But I think specifically the side that can really get their passing game dialed in is going to have a really, really good chance at winning this. Carolina had some success with it early. They were running a lot of bootlegs. They switched their quarterback at the end of the second quarter and have not gone back to their starter, but they are going back to the run game here. Really the first time we've seen them try and send it up the middle. And it pays dividends there. 2nd down and 1 coming up after that gain of 9. So they have switched their starting running back and their starting quarterback now. Their original quarterback, we just know him as number 5. We did not get a roster from the Reloaded before this game. Number 28 was a starting running back. Both of them have been shifted out to other positions. 5 in at the broadside receiver now. And 2nd down and 3 is the official call here. Whoa, and a high snap, barely brought in, but a little bit of a quarterback power there. Well, not technically a power, they didn't pull a guard, but able to make the most out of a bad situation. Nice vertical, just to reel that snap in, and then the awareness to just take off. Go full send out near the sticks, and they've got him spotted short initially. It looked to me like he got the first down, and indeed, there go the chains. 1st down and 10 for the Reloaded. Did not expect this, really. I figured they'd try and establish the run game at least a little bit more than they did in the first half. But they've come out and they've run it on 2 straight snaps. So interesting approach, but it is definitely paying off so far. And it looks like the Electric City has actually checked into a 4-3 look here. They are running nickel for most of the first half. They've brought on another, or actually, no, check that. That's one of their DBs. He was just in the defensive box. It looked like they were running 4-3, but they're back in that nickel set. And here's the snap. Whoa, ball is loose, and I think the quarterback just barely got it back. Oh, shades of Brock Osweiler there. He threw it, and the ball just did not go with his hand. It's a fumble recovered by the offense is what it'll go down as. Carolina, I got to say, pretty lucky to get that one back. That's the it's probably the 2nd or 3rd time something like that's happened. They fumbled it in their own backfield and managed to get it back. Not sure if they've been running that in practice. I mean, it's a good thing to run loose ball drills like that. Whatever they've been doing, it's paying its dividends. They have not turned it over on what could have been potential turnovers. Technically speaking, ball security looking pretty good so far. Going to a 3-by-1 set here on 2nd down and about 17. 4 receivers in the formation. They've been running this for pretty much the entire game. Now, technically, it's still a nickel look, a 5-1 set here for the Chargers. And trying to roll, but the defensive line got a really good push. Looking downfield, caught! Man was wide open. There was a busting coverage downfield, trying to make some guys miss, and won't really get much further than the initial spot he caught the ball, but still a really good play all around. well past the 50, out past the 40. Official spot is going to be at the 34-yard line of Electric City. What a way to get things going for the Reloaded. First down and 10 coming up. And now this Chargers defense looking to the sideline to try and figure out not only what this play is, but how they can better adapt to this not even new look offense. This is really the same stuff they've been running, the Reloaded. They're just executing a lot better. They look a lot more polished than they did in the first half. 2-by-2 set, run up the middle, breaking outside, and that one is going nowhere. Great pursuit by the defensive line. Missed a couple of tackles initially in the backfield, but able to corral the runner at the line of scrimmage. That was one of the defensive linemen. Can't quite make out the number from here. I believe that's 92. That would be Shane McCord with the tackle. And that one will actually go down as a TFL. So second down and 12 coming up here. Loss of 2 on that run. And Shane McCord checks out. They brought in another defensive lineman. That's number 45, Antoine Dendy, to take his place at nose. Looks like they're going to stick with that 5-1 possibly. You can't tell if they're going, nah, it's just straight nickel. 4-2-5 set here. The 5-1 experiment seems to have ended as quickly as it began. Four-man rush, low snap, and really fading back into the pocket, looking deep. Now going to have to outrun some defensive linemen, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, and taken down. That one technically not a sack. He was out of the pocket and on the move. It's going to be a sack of 3 yards, maybe 4 depending on whether they spot this one. Third down and long coming up, either 15 or 16. We'll call it 3rd and 15 for now. I think that's where it's going to be. This defensive line, they've been playing well all game. The outright just raw power on the pass rush has not quite been there. Oh, wow, the sunset is beautiful. We got a break. We'll have to pan the camera over and show you. That is gorgeous. Wow. Getting off topic, the Chargers defensive line, like I said, just the raw pass rushing power. They were really able to pin their ears back and get after the quarterback last week against Charlotte. We haven't quite seen that, but the sheer pursuit, especially when these guys have gotten out of the pocket, they have stayed true, not over pursued, really stuck with them. They've looked good so far. And there's a nice rush off the edge. Can't bring him in, though. And looking intercepted. Number 23 with the pick. That is, nope, not Dominique Ellis. Larry Albert with the interception to put a cap on that drive. And if we can, yeah, I think we can pan over to the sunset now. That is beautiful. Wow. And it might take a moment for the camera to get focused in. Man, that is, it does look better in person, but I think you're still getting a nice view on your cameras at home. And I tell you, don't let the view take away from what was a fantastic read on the quarterback by Albert. Yeah, I got mixed up there. Larry Albert, excuse me. Yeah, Larry Albert. Really good job. I don't know if he was necessarily in a spy assignment on the quarterback or if he was just in zone and keeping his eyes on him, but he did an excellent job of tracking that ball. It was underthrown, quarterback on the move, couldn't quite get everything he needed to on that pass. Picked off and puts an end to what started out as a nice drive, but stalled as that Chargers defense made some really good adjustments, kind of on the fly there. In the meantime, we'll see what adjustments the Chargers offense has made. They started out running the ball very well. Carolina was not having any of that in the second quarter, though. They loaded the box. They got to the quarterback. They got to the running back sometimes. They did a little bit of everything. They came up with a lot of really big stops, some interceptions. It looked good. We were talking during the break. Again, if you're familiar with this channel, Mark Littlejohn, I swear, has been in almost every game we've ever streamed. Has mostly been arena, not outdoor. We know what he's comfortable with, but we don't know if this team is capable of running it, but they are capable of running down the sideline. Wow, what a burst from, is that Fonsby Clyburn again? Oh, he cannot be contained, Fonsby Clyburn with another huge run down the sideline. And we called it not even a stable of running backs earlier. I think it'd be closer to a barnyard with how many capable ball carriers they've got. Clyburn definitely the biggest speed guy in that barnyard. He has gashed his defense down the sideline a couple of times now. That by far his biggest run of the day. And Clyburn will check out. They're going to bring in, looks like another speed guy, and I can't tell if that's 26 or 30. 30 is the tight end. I think that's Cameron Delano. Indeed it is. Unless they've got a number 28 that looks exactly like Cameron Delano. I might be 28. Can't tell if that's a 28 or a 26. Strong formation here. Same formation they ran that last round of. Same play just about, except they flip it a little bit, and this one is going to go for a gain of about 5 yards. So the Chargers kind of getting back to their roots here. They're a run-first team. I remember we were talking with one of their coaches. They said they'd love to be an 80-20 run-pass team, run it 80% of the time. They certainly got the personnel to do it. They experimented with the passing game a little bit in the second quarter. Didn't quite go so well. Again, if you've seen Little John on this channel, especially indoors on a 50-yard field, he can be a very polished passer. But the key, at least with what we've seen of him, is giving him really quick reads where he can get the ball out quickly, almost kind of Tom Brady style. Don't stand back in the pocket too long, overthink things. If the first read is open, take it, and if it only gains 5 yards, that's fine. Oh, and he gets him with the hard count here. Second down, and that was actually 2nd and 6. So it's not going to be an automatic first down, but they are definitely within range of picking this one up on the ground. Yeah, they were doing really good with a run on that very first drive of the game. It ended on a bad snap turned fumble. Conditions weren't great out here. It had been raining a ton before the game. We were in a lightning delay. Then it just went to a little bit of a drizzle in the first quarter. It's not too surprising that they ended up fumbling. It was a very wet ball, and handoff to the fullback. That's Jesse Turman. And wow, look at that pile. That's almost all 22 dudes on the field pushing that one. And I don't think Turman quite got to the line to make, but he got closer to it. He's going to set up 3rd down and very short. Little John's more than capable of taking snaps from under center. Do they go quarterback sneak here? Or no, I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility, but I don't assume they will because they've actually marked that as a loss of 1. Going to be 3rd down and 2 now. Ball on the 23-yard line, knocking on the door of the red zone, but they got to pick up this first down to keep the drive going. 0 pass attempts on this drive. The outside run seems to have been a little bit more effective than the inside run. Carolina definitely has that box loaded. If they can get the edge, they might have a big gain waiting for them. And kind of a long mesh point there. Breaking it to the outside is Albert diving forward. Did he get the first down? Looks like he did initially. We'll have to see where exactly they spot it. If he didn't, it's 4th and inches. They absolutely got close. I think their signal still haven't signaled one way or the other. And now they're telling the chain gang to move up. That is a first down. Needed 2 and might have gotten 2 and 1 inch, but he accomplished what he needed to accomplish on that one. Larry Albert moving the chains for the Chargers. And now, I guess officially inside the red zone, ball spotted right at the 20-yard line. Same formation again. They've really got that box loaded up. They can find a way to get to the edge. They have got a lot of green grass hanging out there. And they're going to try and head that way. I think that's Bobby Kinnebrew with a nice little gain on that one. Couldn't quite pop it loose, but they are getting closer and closer to the end zone. And closer and closer to their first points since the second drive of the game. That one officially going to be marked as a gain of 7 for Kinnebrew. 2nd down and 3 coming up. Again, no pass attempts on this drive, and it's strange to say, but that is really where the Chargers have been their best. Little John, I mean, he's no Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to go out there and make, just incredible plays. He's certainly capable of it, but play in and play out, he's much more comfortable as a Tom Brady-style rhythm passer. I don't want to say game manager because that's kind of turned into like you don't call somebody a game manager nowadays, but it's not a bad thing to be by any stretch of the imagination, and especially again, if you're going to be an 80-20 run-pass ratio team, your number one priority, get the ball in the hands of your running backs. Hand it off as many times as possible to guys who can score as many times as possible, as Mike Leach used to say. Well, he would throw it to him, wouldn't quite hand it off, but same sort of offensive mindset. Number one priority here, get this football to any one of the many capable running backs you have on this team. Haven't seen Clyburn in a while. He may be ready to go. Kinnebrew looks to be checking out after that run. I I tell you, they do not stick with one runner for very long. They switch them out a lot. Which, I mean, obviously that means that by the time you get deep into the fourth quarter, your guys are all probably going to be pretty fresh, but it's also interesting that they don't really get a chance to, build a lot of momentum either. They switch them out almost every other play. Here's second down and 3. Ball inside the 15. Strong formation, and we got whistles. I think somebody called a timeout, but I don't know who. And, still not quite sure who, but we'll take a little break along with them. Interesting turn of events there. All right, and I guess they got it sorted out. Ball is on the 13-yard line. They need to get to the 10 to keep this drive going. One thing to look out for, Littlejohn, we haven't really seen him use his legs as much on designed runs, at least. He's scrambled a good bit in this game and the last one. We haven't seen him use his legs on designed runs quite as much as we're used to, especially with the Palmetto Colts last year. He was a weapon down in the red zone. I think there was one game against the Atlanta Furious where he had 3 rushing touchdowns after he talked about how his shoulder was banged up before the game. All of those came on quarterback sweeps. It was just real simple stuff. They'd snap it straight to him. Bobby Kennebrew he was their running back that season when they ended up winning the Federated Arena League Championship over the Georgia Lina Lions. But all they'd do, they'd snap it direct to Littlejohn out of the shotgun. Kennebrew was his lead blocker, and they'd go to the near side edge and dive for the pylon. And he's run some read option in the past as well, a little quarterback wrap stuff. So definitely, especially if they get down around the goal line, look for him to pull the ball here and there. But until then, looks like we've got a guy cramping up on the Chargers side. Can't quite get a number. Hope he's okay. Both teams are going to take this opportunity to get rested up a little bit. All right, also interesting to note, I didn't realize this until now, but we are more than 10 minutes into the third quarter. This is only the second possession of the quarter. The Chargers, they'd already been controlling time possession with this ground and pound attack, but this drive has really been chewing up some clock. Sticking with that strong formation, now on the near side. Oh, false start on the Chargers. Just got a little too eager there, and that's going to back them up 5 yards. Second down and 8. Or actually, I think the ball was spotted at the 13, but the chain gang had that marked as the line of scrimmage being at the 18. So it's going to be second and 10 plus. And they're going to spot it. Yeah, outside the 20, back at the 23. So this is second down and 13. Bad turn of events for the Chargers. I don't expect them to get away from the run. And, they're going to need a receiver on the far side of that formation. And it might have been an offset line, tight end eligible. Oh, whatever it is, it seems to be working. Spin move by Larry Albert. Got the first down inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. And this Chargers offense continues to rumble. Man, fantastic run there. Great effort. I mean, straight up the middle. And now we got whistles again. Clock is going to stop at 3:36 to go in the third. Man down now for the reloaded. Hope he's okay. And yep, he's up. It's Again, don't have a roster for the Reloaded, but it was the guy with the silver helmet, the one they put in at running back on the last couple of drives. He's been playing Iron Man. Can't blame him for tiring out. He's put up a fantastic effort today. Really, I mean, all players on all sides of the ball have, especially coming out in the lightning delay, literally weathering the storm out here and put it all on the line. I mean, you can tell both teams really want this one. Chargers coming off a really good win last week, 26-6 over the Bengals, with Charlotte not scoring until pretty deep into the fourth quarter. It was 26-0 for a really long time in that one, and the Reloaded coming off a really tough loss last week. Again, I haven't got to double check the schedule. I believe it was a Charlotte A team that beat them 16-12, if my memory serves correctly. It was a close loss. All right, so here is, it's not 1st and 10, this is 1st and goal. It's actually the first goal-to-go situation we've had all game. And got a handoff here to Albert, going into the end zone. Touchdown, Chargers. Larry Albert from 6 yards out. And the Electric City Chargers have taken their first lead of the game. 12 points on the board now. Man, that's nothing fancy about that one. That's just the offensive line doing a better job than the defensive line did. We've had separate winners on every play. The Carolina loaded defensive line has won sometimes. The offensive line for the Chargers has won sometimes. That was all O-line. Fantastic job by Albert of getting in there. And Albert is going to get it again right up the middle, and he's got the two-point conversion. Larry Albert cannot be stopped. 14-8, your new score. Chargers on top. And after we just talked about how much the Chargers rotate these running backs, I said, you know, I like keeping them fresh, but sometimes they don't get a chance to build on the 7-8 yard runs they may have consecutively. They leave Larry Albert in the game, and it absolutely pays off. He was just cranking them off there at the end. Had that big run to pick up a first down, and the touchdown, and a two-point conversion to cap it off. I think a couple of years ago, NFL Network tried to get the term octopus going. I don't think it ever quite caught on, but technically speaking, Larry Albert with the octopus on that last drive. 8 points, all Albert. We have got 3:09 to go in the third quarter. Just a little over 18 minutes in the game. And for only the second time in this game, Patterson and the Chargers getting ready to send this one away. Or check that, it's not Patterson. Patterson's 74, this is 78, Andre Talley. Mark Littlejohn did not attempt to pass on that last drive. And here's the kick. Nice hang time on this one. The reloaded return man having to catch it around the 15-yard line. That's actually their quarterback on the run here. Oh, and he gets taken down, just tripped up a little bit by a diving defender. And ball's going to be spotted at around the 33-yard line. First down and 10 coming up. So we, you know, you always hear talk about, you know, trying to get guys' heads back in the game after they turn the ball over, be it a quarterback, you know, giving them an easy throw after an interception to prove, like, hey, we still trust you to throw the ball, or like a running back fumbles, and then first thing on the next drive, they give it right back to him to prove, like, hey, we trust you. We know that fumble was just a fluke. I don't know that I've ever seen a team try and get their quarterback's confidence back up after an interception by having him return a kickoff. That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. And speaking of the quarterback position, technically it was a wide receiver returning that kick. They've gone back to their starter now following the pick. 3-by-1 set, number 2 in as the slot receiver, number 5 back at quarterback here. 5-man rush for the Chargers, and oh, how did he get out of that? And it won't last, but it was a fantastic duck and dodge there. I don't know how he got out of that sack. But it will still go down as a sack. Second down and 17, the number here. Second and 17 for the reloaded. Under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Ball now inside the 30 on the reloaded, 27-yard line. They're all huddled up, but I've seen the Chargers do this a couple times too. I always find it interesting when they only have a 10-man huddle and they've got a receiver split out wide that already seems to know what he's doing. It's I don't know if they like signal it into him individually, if it's like a hot route situation where the quarterback calls at the line, but I've seen both teams do that now. Interesting. 3-by-1 set, nickel formation defensively. Jared Watkins, the high safety. And Electric City almost jumped. They give him the benefit of the doubt. Little option pitch here, but that was a really long throw, and that one is going to go down for a loss as well, but we got a flag down. Going to be interesting to see where this was. I didn't see it come out. I thought the Chargers might have jumped, but if they did, I wasn't sure why they let the play go because it was a little bit before they snapped it. We'll see what the call is. If it's declined, it's going to be second or third down at about 24, but this one is accepted. They're going to say the Chargers did jump. Second down and 13 coming up. Or actually, yeah, it's closer to second and 12. All right, so here we go. Clock is running. Will probably be below 45 seconds. Ugh, it's a tongue twister. Below 45 seconds in the third by the time this gets snapped. 3-by-1 set. Quarterback rolling out. Under some pressure, going to the flat, and this man is dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Third and long coming up for the reloaded. And the defensive chess match has been really interesting here. That was the same sort of passing concept with the roll and the flood to the near side of the field that the reloaded were running with success. Earlier on in the game, the Chargers have caught on to what they were doing and adjusted perfectly. All levels covered, got to check it down to the flat, goes for a loss. 3rd and 15, the official spot now. 2-by-2 set, here we go. Press coverage in the slot. Interesting, usually that's the other way around, and timeout call. And I believe the reloaded took that one. Either didn't have the play in or saw something they didn't like. Oh, and actually, no timeout called on that one. The third quarter expired. We are into the fourth. The Chargers, with their first lead of the game now, following the Larry Albert touchdown run, 2-point conversion, 14-8 the score. Will the Chargers hang on, or can the reloaded come back from behind now and win this one? 15 minutes to decide it. We'll be back in a moment. And here we go. 3rd down and 15, down 6. Whoa, and juggled snap. He does reel it back in. Looking long, going way across the middle, and incomplete. Over the head of his intended receiver. It was definitely a catchable pass for the defense, but I think they were just playing a little too far outside to reel that one in. It's going to bring up 4th and 15. You got to punt this. They've only run pooch punts tonight. I don't know that they have a designated punter on the roster. But even then, I mean, you cannot go for this, especially given the way that the Chargers offense just literally ran right down the field on that last drive. You've got to at least attempt to play field position here, and no point in trying this on 4th and 15. The Chargers definitely expecting a punt here. They have number 21, Josh Ellis, back to receive potentially a punt. And indeed, they've got their starting quarterback is their punter here. They've got him backed up. He's counting heads, making sure they got 11 dudes out there. Backed up about 10 yards away from the line of scrimmage. They only got one protector back, though. Going to be interesting to see if they try and come after this. I suppose maybe it's kind of a read play on the quarterback's end. Like if they get a good look on the flanks or on the outsides, they might try and pass it. And oh, that one partially blocked and returned. This is going to be a touchdown. Talk about heads up play. Was that Josh Ellis? No, that was number 2 or 3. That was either Jamar Brown or Quan Pruitt. His jersey's bunched up. I can't tell who it is. And that's the 3. That's Quan Pruitt with the punt return touchdown. Partially blocked, picked up by one of the up men, and taken down to the end zone untouched for 6. Make it 20-8, and just like that, the Chargers are out to a 2-score lead after trailing for most of this game. What a play! I was wondering why they only had one protector back there. They had a lot of gunners out. Again, I thought maybe it could be a quarterback read, sort of like I know Oregon a couple of years ago would do a similar thing on PATs where they come out in a weird trick play sort of formation, and if on once in a blue moon when they actually got the numbers they wanted, they would run like a little screen and pass it to the big formation on the side. It was weird. They almost never ran the screen, and Chip Kelly did it that one year, and I never really saw it after that. But that's kind of what that reminded me of if I'm reading it right and assuming that, like, okay, we're going to come out here, we're going to spread them out wide, and if we get a flanker wide open or something, we'll try and throw it to them, something like that. But the sacrifice you make there is that you only have one protector back in front of your quarterback when he's punting, and that was not enough. Partially blocked and returned for 6. Here's the 2-point conversion to try and make it 22-8. Little John going to hand off to Albert. Who else? Up the middle. Did he get in? Yes, he did. 22-8 is your new score. And the Electric City Chargers turning it on here in the second half. Kickoff coming. How will the Reloaded respond now down 2 possessions? 13:35 left in the game. Still plenty of time for something to happen. But they're going to have to make something happen in a hurry, or at least get something going on this next drive, because outside of those quick passes on the rollouts they had early on in the first half, they have not done much with any sustained success. They had some deep passes down the field, but they've been inconsistent. A couple of coverage busts on the Chargers' end took them downfield as well, but they've got to find a way to either get this ball out quickly, get their quarterback in a rhythm so they can hit on those deep passes when they come around, or maybe try and set up the run game. Their first play of the second half was a run straight up the middle for 9 yards, and they didn't really revisit it after that. Kind of went back to passing. It looked good on their opening drive of the second half before the interception. Andre Talley ready to send this one deep for Electric City. And there's the kick. He got all of that one. Heading back to the 15. Here's the return. Oh, and Ellis coming in hot. Can't quite bring him in. And, making some men miss out to the 30 and then driven back on a gang tackle. Number 15 and number 28 in on that one. That was, looks like Josh Richardson and Dion Williams with the return. Ball going to be spotted right at the 30-yard line. So they got a long field ahead of them if they want to score here. 1st and 10 coming up for the Reloaded. Doesn't appear that we have any change at quarterback. They're going to stick with 5. I do think he's the more polished passer, number 2, probably the more polished runner, but again, as far as sustained success on offense has gone, 5 has been their guy. And they got their running back wide open on a screen, and that one dangerously close to being intercepted. Great ball placement. He's heading down the sideline. Number 2 cuts inside, and who else but Larry Albert to tackle him? Larry Albert is everywhere tonight. Going Iron Man now, and that's a big gain, but a key tackle to prevent an even bigger gain there. Jared Watkins and Larry Albert kind of had him cornered. So it's still going to be 1st and 10. Nice start to this drive by the Reloaded. Clock will wind. We're below 13 minutes to go in the game. Nickel formation for the defense. Straight drop back. Running back is open again. And high throw. Oh, and missed tackle there. And heading down the sideline inside the 10, but we got a flag down well in the backfield. This could be coming back. And holding called against the offense. That one stings. If that had stood, the Reloaded would have gone 60 yards in 2 plays. That one's coming back, and instead of 1st and goal from the 10, it's going to be 1st and 20 from just short of the 50-yard line. So how do you get them to regroup after a big play like that gets called back? It's going to be a testament to this coaching staff to see if they can get their heads screwed back on straight, figuratively speaking, of course. They've got to get those guys calmed down. We had a big play. We've done it twice in a row. That'd be my message as a coach. It's clearly possible to do it again. Stay focused. Don't get discouraged. 2-by-2 set, 4 receivers. Here we go. High snap. Brought back in by the quarterback. Looking long. And that one is caught by the backup quarterback receiver. He's doing a little bit of everything as well. That is going to be a gain of about 15 yards. Nice play. And there you go. Good response. Following a big play getting called back by a penalty. How do you get the guys calmed down? Can you get them calmed down enough to continue moving forward as they were? Looks like so far they can. 2nd down and 5 coming up. Or actually 2nd down and 4. They're going to mark him a little closer. No runs on this drive. Been 3 passes. All of which have gone for more than 10 yards. Sticking with the 2-by-2 set. Nickel looked defensively. Electric City might have gotten a little bit of a jump. And yeah, he's running, but they blew this one dead, and I don't think they quite heard it. I think they are going to say that EC got the jump. Looked like they started, just a hair early on that one. But that was, I'm going to say, unusually indecisive by the officiating crew. Usually, when somebody jumps, they blow it dead right there or just let the play go, period. I've never seen them, wait a little bit, and I think that's what the coaches are talking about because they had an opening there. They might have been looking at a 1st down on that one, and the whistle actually kind of bailed the Chargers out. So by all accounts, it should be a 1st down for the Reloaded unless, I don't know, maybe they're saying they called a timeout before the play? Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened on that one because they haven't moved it back. They've got it spotted right where it was, so it's still 2nd down and 4. And whatever it was, they waved the flag off, and they're just going to replay the down. So here we go. They're going to stick with their 2-by-2 set. Again, I don't think they've used a tight end this entire game. The scouting report on the Reload was that they wanted to air the ball out. They've leaned on the run a little bit more than I was expecting, especially given how their first drive went. Oh, and there's the hard count. That is absolutely going to be a 1st down. Both teams have been gotten by that. Both quarterbacks seem to be pretty good at it. 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down. And the Reloaded are moving on up right outside of the 25, knocking on the door of the red zone. Ball spotted on the 26 of Electric City. And once we get the chains reset, we'll be good to go.
Technically, let's give the defense 2 minutes to catch your breath.
And here we go. First down and 10. I don't know if our cameraman's voice came in or not, but for as good as it is to get a first down, the Electric City defense has had a lot of rest as well. Something to be wary of. Nickel formation here. They're going to run this straight up the middle, and oh no, the quarterback's got it. Had me fooled, and I don't know if he slid down or if well, not quite the turf monster, because we're on a grass field, if he just slipped. Imagine it is still a little slippery out there, but he may have just slid too. But regardless, it's going to be a gain of 4 and bring up second down and around 6. Ball at the 23. Yep, second down and 7 going to be the official call. Definitely want to take care of yourself, but it looked like he could have gotten maybe an extra yard or 2 if he kept going without getting hit. So he's got a better view than we do, of course. He's the one at risk of getting hit, but I think he could have run that one just a little bit further. And great penetration by the defensive line. Initially going long, touchdown, reloaded. Oh, and found a hole in the zone coverage there. Just caught him between the guy playing around the sticks, and there was a deep safety. He caught him right in between, right, and call it a hole shot. Touchdown, reloaded, just what the doctor ordered. Make it 22-14. And we'll see what they've got dialed up here for the 2-point conversion. We have got an interesting fourth quarter brewing here in Anderson. 9:06 on the clock. And they initially lined up in 2-by-2. Now they go to 3-by-1. For what it's worth, this is about the formation they were using when they scored on their first 2-point conversion. They ran a bootleg pass, and the quarterback didn't like what he saw and just kind of took it himself. And here we go. Same play design, and now got a man in the end zone. Did he hang on? No, it's incomplete. Just a little low. Quarterback was on the move, didn't have time to set his feet, and now we got a flag down too. Thrown by the back judge at the very end of the end zone. And I think they're just going to wave it off. If it was against the reloaded, the charges would just decline. There's no point in accepting. And yeah, I believe the score is going to remain 22-14. Both sides heading off the field, gearing up for kickoff. Yeah, 9:06 left to go in this game. This is going to be very interesting, especially given that should the Chargers go on a sustained drive like they did last time, even if they don't score, they are able to chew up a lot of clock with that ground game. So, again, if they're able to go on a sustained drive, which isn't a guarantee, the reloaded defense has stepped up and made big plays, especially when the Chargers have dropped back to pass. But if they're not able to get them off the field, that clock could be an even bigger threat to the scoreboard. But that is all up in the air. It's just speculation right now. Both teams got to remember to take this one play at a time. It's fine for us to look ahead a little bit. We're not out there on the field getting hit like those guys are. We got the easy job. Oh, and this could get interesting. So there was a personal foul called against the reloaded. The Chargers declined to have it enforced on the 2-point conversion. Instead, they enforced it on the kickoff. So Carolina is going to be kicking this from their own 15-yard line. Pretty good field position coming up here, unless they get an incredible bounce. Not outside the realm possibility. We've seen some good bounces from both teams off of punts. So anything's possible. So Saturday night in South Carolina, the sun is set. This is when strange yet amazing things tend to happen on the football field. And they only had 9 guys there. They've got their 10th. Oh, wait, check that. No, that's 11. Yeah, there's one guy off screen. Oh, wait, nope. No, I miscounted. They did only have 9, and now they send him off. Do they have not 10 or 9 or 11 or 12? Doesn't really matter now. And Electric City calls for a fair catch. Yeah, or actually kickoff out of bounds. That's what he was doing the signal for. So another big mistake there, though. We'll have to see where exactly this is spotted. Usually kickoff out of bounds comes out to the 35, but I don't know that I've... if I have seen a kickoff go out of bounds prior to crossing the 35-yard line, it's been a really long time. So I don't quite remember the procedure here. I think it just goes to whichever position is more advantageous for the offense. So the flag's going to get waved off, technically speaking. Ball's going to be spotted at the 45-yard line. So great field position for the Chargers following that personal foul penalty. So here comes first down and 10. Judging by their last drive, I think everybody in the building, including the reloaded defense, knows they're going to run it. The only question remaining to be seen regards how much of that running is going to be done by Larry Albert. He's not in the backfield right now, but you got to imagine we'll see him at some point, considering how well he's played here in the late stages of this game. In the meantime, it's going to be a handoff to Bobby Kennebrew, who drives forward and dives forward at the very end for a gain of 6 yards. Good gain on first down for the Chargers. Second down and 4 coming up. And again, not really a lot to commentate on there. That's just great blocking by the offensive line. Nice drive by the running back. And good awareness to dive forward, get a little bit of extra yardage. But past that, the concept is pretty simple. Just run. Run. Get the ball and run. Here's second down, and they're calling this 2nd and 5. Oh, and good penetration by that defensive line, but better just dragging of the pile there by that running back. When we got a flag down. All right. Where's this one going? That was Jesse Turman on the carry, I believe. And looks like they're discussing this. Or no, they're talking with the refs, and Lil John's just eavesdropping. It looked like for a second they were telling it straight to him. I suppose that'd be pretty convenient if the refs discuss the penalties with the quarterbacks or like the middle linebackers on defense. Might save some time, make things a little more interesting. But it looks like that whatever the flag was, it's gonna be waved off. No, they've got the chain game moving up. At least the guy doing the line of scrimmage marking is moving up. Nope, and now he's moving back. He flipped it to first down, and now he's moving back, and he's flipping it back to second down, I think. I think he's just as confused as we are, but the refs are still discussing this one. All right, and I think they're saying that one of the defensive backs for Carolina was actually lined up off sides, tried to press and got a little bit too greedy, I suppose. So if that's the case, offside penalty, automatic first down, and a gain of 5 yards for the offense, and that indeed looks like what it is. So not quite sure why it took them that long to sort it out. I would imagine it'd be a pretty open and shut sort of call, but regardless, the outcome remains the same. First down for the Chargers. We've got Kennebrew in at fullback and Fonsby Clyburn in at running back. Been a while since we've seen him. How's he going to fare? Trying to bust this one outside. Patient run, and man, talk about just moving forward. There were a couple of times where I thought, oh, he's done. They've got him, and he just slipped by a tackler, kept on going. Fonsby Clyburn. Some of the coaches were talking about just how elusive and patient of a runner he is. He's showing it off there. And going to bring up second down and 4. Gain of 6 for Clyburn on the play. And again, you got to remember the Chargers, for as tired as that defense may be, the Chargers just have so many running backs in that running back room that they can choose from here. So many guys that probably have fresh legs, because while the Chargers have run it a ton, no single guy except maybe Larry Albert has had more than, I'd say, maybe 7 or 8 carries. It's been very evenly distributed. They're sticking with Kennebrew and Clyburn in the formation now. 2 tight ends into the set. Fumbled snap, but he actually laterals it back to Clyburn, who gets the edge and maybe a first down. Whatever works, I suppose. That was an interesting parallel of the play that they fumbled on their opening drive as we got a Charger down. And looks like he's getting up one of the linemen there. Number 9, I believe, I think as Jordan Adams. Looks like he's okay, just maybe a little shaken up. So he may not even be checking out of the game. Talk about toughness. He's saying, leave me in. First down and 10 coming up following the run by Clyburn.
Look at that fog.
And the Chargers back in the huddle. Again, we talked about how they can chew up some clock when they keep the ball on the ground. Yeah, we are at 6:27 to go in this game. They've already eaten up 2.5 minutes on this drive. And now a twin tight end set, actually. First I've seen of that, and nope, now they motion back. So we saw Georgia run a lot of this last year in their national championship run. Tight end on either side of the line of scrimmage. Strong backfield, only one receiver in the formation, and he got him with a hard count again. I love the pursuit by Carolina, wanting to get into the backfield as fast as possible, and the refs are going to talk this one out. Carolina's trying to make the case that they were either drawn off or that Electric City jumped first, but it looked to me like Little John got him. We'll have to see how exactly this goes. It's either 1st and 5 or 1st and 15. And indeed, this one's going against the defense. 1st down and 5. Electric City continues to move forward. That's 2 penalties against the Reloaded on this drive. And here we go again. Same formation, probably the same play they had called. I didn't see him huddle up. Handoff here to Clyburn. Kennebrew blocking. Clyburn sheds 2 tacklers, going for the sticks, and got very close. I think he just inked that one out. And they're saying to run the clock and move those chains. That is another 1st down for the Chargers. And that defense is looking tired. It's exactly what ground and pound teams like this want to accomplish. You get deep in the 4th quarter. At defense, the front 7 just doesn't have anything left in the tank to stop this run attack. They're going to have to start either focusing on really loading the box, even more than they have been so far, or trying to strip the ball out and forcing another fumble. We got a man down for the Reloaded. Hopefully he's all right. Jared Watkins, the safety, actually was checked in on that play, and now he's out. They're bringing Jordan Adams back in. So maybe they were going for a more receiver-heavy set, and they're looking to bring some beef on, but I think they already got 11, so Adams will need to get off the field. He was talking to one of his coaches. Yep, 2 tight end set with a strong backfield. This is as close to the I formation as you'll see in 2023. Here we go, straight handoff. 24, that's Ellis on the carry, and the Reloaded defense is ready for that one. Short gain, he did get past the line of scrimmage, but not that far. And now Adams will check in. And I think they're gonna say no gain on that one. And no, spotted at the 23-yard line. They'll bring up 2nd down, and yeah, I think they're saying no gain. 2nd down and 10. And now, oh, here he is. Larry Albert has checked into the game. I think everybody in this stadium knows where this ball is going. Here we go. Whoa, loose snap. Ball is loose. And Albert picks it up. This is going to be a loss. But good job and lucky just to get back on top of that one. But bad news for the Chargers. That is going to set up 3rd down and more than 15. They are really moving this thing back. 3rd and 17. So Larry Albert's welcome back party, it doesn't go quite as planned. The Reloaded defense, good job of catching a break there. That clock, though, continuing to roll. I think that is going to be their biggest enemy. 4:30 left. We're going to be probably below 4 minutes by the time this thing gets snapped. They're staying in the huddle as long as possible. I would, as tempting as it may be, I don't know that I would try a pass here. Littlejohn has not attempted a pass in the second half of this game. And got a flag. I think this is delay. Yeah, delay a game on the offense. And Littlejohn's looking at the refs. I think he thought he had more time than he did. So make it 3rd and 22. So where are their priorities going to lie? Odds of converting on this one, not impossible, especially if they're have a running back able to get the edge here, as the timeout is taken, I think, by the Chargers on that one. But where are their priorities? Do they want to try and focus on some big chunk plays to potentially pick up this first down, or are they going to say, let's play it conservative, we believe in our defense, try and just run it twice, bleed this clock as much as humanly possible before Carolina gets the ball back? Again, I think it's tempting from an offensive standpoint to try and go for a pass, but we talked about how Littlejohn works best when he is in a rhythm, when he has had a lot of short completions underneath him, little screens, hitches, stuff like that. Very arena football style offenses when we've seen him at his best, when you're dinking and dunking underneath coverages. And with no pass attempts, he doesn't do that well, or at least not in this game, has not done that well with kind of plays where like, okay, 3rd and 22, we know you haven't thrown it in a while, but we need 20 yards. Here's 4 verts. He's struggled in those situations, especially given this pass rush by the Reloaded has really been able to get after him in those situations. So maybe a halfback screen here, you know, bring some offensive linemen out, try and pull them, get some blocks downfield, maybe a draw. Don't try and bite off more than you can chew here for the Chargers. And they're going play action. Oh, wide open! Don't listen to me! I don't think that's going to be enough for the first, but it's going to set up 4th down and very, very short. That was, is that Jordan Adams? I can't quite tell. I think it was. Yep, Jordan Adams on the reception. They had him at tight end. Play action there up the seam, had him wide open, and it sets up 4th down and 3. Wow, so yeah, this is why I'm streaming the games and not calling the plays. Here we go. 4th and 3. Clock is still rolling. 3:15 to go. Littlejohn trying to get him to jump. I think he might have done it. No, timeout taken. Oh, wait, no, they throw the flag. This is against the Reloaded. He got him with the hard count. Wow. And that defensive line just so eager to try and get into the backfield on this drive. That is, man, they are shooting themselves in the foot. And I mean, they don't really have much of a choice. I mean, they've got to get into the backfield, force some negative plays here. But man, that one stings. 1st down and 10. I think that's the 3rd time he's gotten him with the hard count in this game. And the 2nd on this drive. Here we go. Hand off to Albert. Oh, turf monster. I think he did get back to the line of gain. Or the line to gain, I should say. Going to be 2nd down and still pretty long, but they are in the red zone. Ball spotted at the 13, so yeah, they're going to mark that as no gain. Albert did make it back to the line of scrimmage. Well, so far, for as spectacular as that last drive was for him, 2 carries for negative yardage on this one for Albert. He's still in the game. Again, I think we all know where this one's going. Is Larry Albert going to get his shot at redemption here, or could they go play action again? Oh, whoa, low snap, and Littlejohn just bites this. And now the Chargers struggling. And this is going to be 3rd down and very long once again. 3rd and 17. That clock is continuing to roll. We are under, actually we're going to hit the 2-minute warning right now. 2-minute warning. So the Reloaded do get a free timeout. 2 points or a 2-minute drill, not outside the realm of possibility, especially considering how quickly they've moved the ball on offense on some of these drives. But they've got to stop the Chargers first, and that is no small task. Now, offensively, what do? Where into your bag of tricks do you go here? I don't know that you're going to be able to fool him with play action again, given that you just did it on 3rd and 17. Do you go draw screen? Do you just go straight drop back, really try and catch him by surprise? Where are you going to go with this football? I highly doubt that they've got to worry about, potentially calling 2 plays in the huddle and, getting to the line and running the second one real quick. That'd be the last thing they want to do. I'm not totally sure if the Reloaded have any timeouts left. They're not keeping track of them on the scoreboard tonight. I think they've got at least one, so they would be able to stop the clock, or they should be able to stop the clock, I should say, if the Chargers aren't able to pick up this first down. And here we go. Handoff to Clyburn to the near side, trying to break outside. He does have a crease, but it closes quickly. And not even able to get back to the line again. This is going to be 4th down and about 12. Gain of 5. Nice little run. Might have been a little bit better on 1st and 10, maybe. 4th and 13. Timeout taken by the Reloaded. I believe they charged it to Carolina anyway. I'm not really sure why the Chargers would take it. So the ball spotted now on about the 17-yard line, I'd say. Actually inside the 15. So do keep in mind, if they really want to play 40 chess and burn maximum clock here, the Chargers can pick up a first down without scoring. It's unlikely because, especially on a down like this, it'd be a big run that would get them that far. So if they do break one loose, I think the odds of them picking up a first down without scoring are pretty odd, unless they're like explicitly telling the guys, hey, if you get past the sticks, slide so we can burn more clock. But, I mean, obviously, priority number 1, get the first down by any means necessary. If that means hard count right now coming out of the huddle, try and make it 4th and 8, go for it. Again, they've gotten them twice on this drive alone. I don't know if they might. Sure they wouldn't. Little John is one of the best I've seen in person when it comes to getting defenses to jump. Clyburn has had a lot of success breaking runs to the outside. Heck, we saw it on that last play. They'd run that to the far side instead of the near side. I think he could have picked up an extra yard or 2 maybe. Just kind of ran out of real estate on that one. The gap he was trying to run into closed quickly as well. Here's 4th and 13. Clyburn is the running back. And the refs discussing something with a couple of Reloaded coaches that are out on the line. And they are having they're having a tea party out there. They've got everybody in on this chat. Number 73, I believe that's Ross for the Chargers, one of their offensive linemen, seemed to have the best view of whatever that was. Not totally sure what they were discussing, but no, they've still got coaches out there counting to make sure they got 11. So I don't really know that amounted to anything. I think everything's good to go. And yep, there's the ready for play. Clock is going to roll. Here we go. 4th and 13. And play action. Little John looking for the end zone. Oh, God! Touchdown! Xandrion Smith might have just put this game away. They fooled him with play action again. Zay Smith in the back of the end zone. Makes it 28-14. What a throw. What a catch. What a gutsy call. With the potential of, well, I guess it would have stopped anyway if they didn't pick up the first down. But, man, passing twice on this drive after Little John hadn't thrown passes in the entire second half. Man, hats off to the Chargers OC, their entire coaching staff, and these players for executing in the absolute biggest moments of this game. That was incredible. It makes it a 2-score game once again. The Reloaded going to have to operate at warp speed if they want to come back in this one. And handoff to Albert. He's still driving and will not get the 2-point conversion that time. So keep it at 28-14. With 1:33 to go in the game, the Reloaded are going to have to score in a heartbeat, pull an onside kick, and score again. It's not impossible, but they've got a long road ahead of them. And it's all going to start with this kickoff return. They've had some good ones. They've had some that didn't get quite as far as they would have liked. That Chargers coverage team needs to be aware they've got speedy guys that can get to the edge. Tally, the kicker for the Chargers, has had a good habit. He can get them to around the 15 or so when he sends these things away. And I think the Chargers are, they're trying to signal the players. They got 12 men out there, and they're bringing one guy off. Wait, nope, now he's coming back on. Yep, and they're motioning one player off. Yep, they're down to 11. Here we go. This is a deceptively important kickoff, I would say. The Reloaded need a really big return. It's, I don't know necessarily need, but it would certainly help out. Which also lends the question, do you squib this one, perhaps? Or actually, hang on a second, that is like... Okay, they're bringing a guy up, but I was about to say, that side of the field closest to the screen, that was almost completely empty. Yeah, they're bringing guys out there now, but if that had stayed that way, I might have gone onside. Little impromptu onside kick, maybe, but it's there. Take it what they give you. And this kick, probably Tally's best one of the night. Fielded at the 13, headed for the far sideline, and taken down past the 30 at the 33. So here we go, 1:27 on the clock. We're going to find out how fast this Reloaded offense can move the ball. They are going to need to score in a hurry. We expect number 5 to be the quarterback. I think that's their best combination. 5 is a more talented passer, 2 is a better runner, especially once it gets into the open field. Speaking of, we haven't seen it this game, but I wouldn't be too terribly surprised if they start with a little screen. If not 2, then one of their outside guys. They do seem to have a lot of speed on this roster, and they haven't really tried to use it in the screen game. Neither team has, really. We saw the Chargers run a wide receiver screen on their first drive last week and went for no gain, and they haven't really tried it since. But interesting note that we haven't really seen a lot of the screen game from Carolina so far. They definitely have the speed to make it happen if they so choose, but I mean, if they do run screens, they run anything inside, they've got to remember to get out of bounds. Nickel formation defensively for the Chargers. Back to pass, good pursuit by the defensive line. They're flipping it out to the running back who has a first down, tripped up. That's going to be a gain of about 15 or so. Nice start for the Carolina Reloaded. And we got whistles. Timeout taken by the Reloaded. That I haven't been keeping super close track, but that could be their last one. But I don't know. Surely they wouldn't have taken that now if that was their last timeout. Clock is stopped at 1:14. Just under 75 seconds to go in this one. And they're getting it all sorted out. This could be one of those situations like we talked about earlier where they know they need to go fast, so they go ahead and call 2 or 3 plays in the huddle. Say if the first one works, get up to the line, run the second one, and so on. 4-man rush here, and that one, some kind of miscommunication there. That was closer to the Chargers linebacking core than anybody. And I think Electric City's kind of kicking themselves. I think they could have had the game-sealing interception. I think it might have looked closer on camera than it actually was. That was Dion Williams, the closest man to that ball. 2nd down and 10 coming up. Interesting choice that they went over the middle on that one, too. Again, less than 80 seconds left in this game. You got to be thinking priority number 1 is, I mean, obviously score, get some yards, but you got to get out of bounds, too. Because you've got to gear up for the onside kick after this if you score.
Right? You got
This has turned into quite the chess match. And for the first time in quite a while, the Chargers are going to a too-high look. They are back into their dime package. We saw them use it at the very beginning of the game, and they didn't quite go back to it. They initially used it to counter that four-wide set, but they moved to a nickel to start the run and try and get a little more pressure on the quarterback. And for all intents and purposes, it did pay off. And now Jordan Adams is, he's not checking off. He swapped helmets. He must have gotten the wrong helmet. I don't know that I've ever seen that. I've seen players have to come off because their helmet came off, or, you know, got equipment loose, got stuff out. I don't know that I've ever seen players switch helmets. It was interesting.
All right, y'all. We're working on it up here, trying to get it straightened out.
And, oh, actually, okay. It seems like I always choose the most complex solutions to problems. It's a game clock issue. After the timeout, the game clock appears to have kept running. It currently reads 1.5 seconds, which is obviously not right. It was almost, I would say 74 seconds is where it was at. 1:14 when they took that timeout. Maybe a little closer to 1:10 because I know they ran that play and it fell incomplete. But yeah, I'm not sure why the clock didn't stop. It's the second time that's happened. Could be an issue with the scoreboard. It does look to be getting up there a little bit. I'm sure if it could talk, it'd have some stories to tell. But in the meantime, both teams really have all the time they would ever need to get their ducks in a row. I expect to see some pretty polished football on these next couple of snaps, because I'm sure both teams now have their next couple of plays called.
Difficulties with the equipment. Man, listen. Let me turn my mic off.
And the PA announcer, if I'm not mistaken, I think they said they're going to keep time on the field. So we'll try and keep time with them as best we can. 2-by-2 set, low snap brought in by the quarterback. A little corner roll looking deep. And almost intercepted. That one's going to stop the clock, I'd say. Maybe 1:06 left. Watkins almost able to put that game away. Couldn't quite come up with the pick, but he was all over that route. I think they were trying to just lay it over the top. But Watkins goes about 6'2", 6'3". That is, throwing it over him is a lot easier said than done. And that is going to bring up 3rd down and 10. But again, in 2-minute, 1-minute drills like this, down and distance kind of becomes arbitrary. You're going to need to move the ball in chunks of 10 yards or more anyway. So until you get to 4th, it isn't really a huge concern. But we've had 2 straight incompletions by the Reloaded. They need to get something going here. 2 high safeties worked pretty well so far on this drive. And Reloaded really using all that play clock. They may have called another timeout, I'm not sure. 3-by-1 set now, working right in the middle of the field. Here we go, trips to the quarterback's right. Dropping back, 4-man rush, evades 1 man, looking to the sideline, and almost intercepted! That was Michael Jamison. He had a fantastic diving pick earlier. Could have put the game away. Couldn't quite come up with it, but still puts the Chargers in a really good position. That brings up 4th down and 10 for the Reloaded. They absolutely have to have this one. I'd say, again, keeping time on the field. Not 100% sure where the clock's at, but I'd say with the incompletions, the rollouts, probably 55 seconds, maybe 55, 50 seconds left to go in this one. So that said, the Reloaded almost certainly out of timeouts. If they don't pick this up, it is a kneel-down situation for the Chargers. They have got to get this. You have got to call your absolute best play and have your best players on the field. Here we go. 4-man rush with the quarterback spy. And now he's rolling to his left, flipping it, and this is going to be a 1st down. Nice heads-up play by the Reloaded, and the game will continue. Timeout taken. So they did have 1 more left. Got him past the 50, inside the 40. Ball's going to be spotted at the 38-yard line. And we will keep on going. There is still a spark in that reloaded offense. They really have had their most success when that quarterback has run out, or rolled out, I should say. And interestingly, the designed rolls, the Chargers seem to have adapted to those pretty well. They've been blanketed on their receivers when the quarterback is rolled out deliberately on the past couple of plays. When plays have broken down, quarterback's gotten out of the pocket, and they go into the scramble drill, that's where they've really had their success. But the flip side is that you can't really plan for that. I mean, you can tell a quarterback to roll out on a play, sure, but you can't really tell them to go out there and say, hey, we're just running scramble drill. That's not really a play in the playbook. Things kind of have to break down before you can start improvising like that. I would imagine we'll see probably some kind of roll here. They ran a lot of flood concepts earlier on in the game where you have a flat, a corner, and a streak to kind of get the defense at 3 different levels, right at the line of scrimmage, intermediate, 10 to 15 yards down the field, then down to the end zone. You take the one that's the most open, try and work that level, and then obviously get out of bounds. He's a right-handed quarterback, so rolling to the right should fare pretty well. Lining up in a 3-by-1 set, or actually, it looks like they're going empty here. First we've seen of that all game. So I was thinking if they went 3-by-1, it would be almost a bootleg for sure. But here, I'm not quite sure. It could just be a straight drop back, but they have got to keep tabs on him. And it is indeed a straight drop back, just looking up the seam, and that one will do it. Intercepted, and on the return is number 18. Is that Zay Smith? He wants 6, and he's pushed out of bounds. That's either 18 or 19. I can't quite tell from here. I think that was either Zanvion Smith or Shaheem Jones with the pick. But that one will put it away. Again, I still can't quite get that number. I know Smith is, well, they're all listed as wide receivers or defensive backs. And actually, hang on, hold everything, literally, because I think this one's coming back. That was Jones with the interception, but I think all bets are off. Holding called against the Chargers. We will keep on trucking. Mark Littlejohn, you can see the offensive linemen, a lot of the offensive players ready to go back out there, and I think the refs are saying, no, this ain't happening. We're still going. Unless they called it a hold on the return. Either way, it's a kneel-down situation. I was surprised they didn't just, tell them to get down immediately after the interception, because the reloaded can't have any timeouts left. All right, so the interception return will not stand, but the pick itself is still good to go. This one all but on ice. I'd say maybe 40 or so seconds to go in this game. 1 or 2 kneel downs ought to do it. All the Chargers have to do now is just hang on to the ball. As the fog has started to roll in here from that storm, we got really lucky with the weather after that lightning delay. We have had a little bit of a drizzle, and past that, it's been not clear skies, but it's been smooth sailing. No precipitation. I could not have come up with a better day for football, especially given how hot it was here last time. It was nice and breezy today. Had a great time calling this one. I think even in a loss, I think the Reloaded and the Chargers both had a great time playing this game. It was back and forth. The Chargers able to pull away late. And I tell you what, they got to make sure they get this snap off. And they do. Or actually, hang on, something went wrong. Wait, no, I think I just whistled it dead when Littlejohn took a knee. I was about to say, it took him a while to get lined up. I don't know that I've ever seen somebody get a delay of game trying to take a knee. And whistles sound. I don't think this one's quite over. Yeah, there seems to be some confusion. Not everybody coming out quite yet. Still waiting to see it. Well, I mean, the chain gang's coming onto the field, so it's got to be close to being over. And indeed, they will let it roll, and the Electric City Chargers moved to 2-0 on the year. A come-from-behind win. They were down early on in the first quarter, came back.
I want to thank both teams for a good, clean game, a real hard-fought game.
By the Reloaded.
Thank y'all for your sportsmanship.
Good season in front of them.
Shout out to the Electric City Chargers, though.
Get this passing scheme down.
We out here.
The Chargers with their ground and pound clock crunching attack. literally grind out a win here in Anderson. 28-14, the final score. Chargers moved to 2-0. Reloaded drops to 0-2 on the year. So, that was a fun game to call. We had a blast calling, some big plays, some big turnovers on offense and defense. Fun game all around, I would say. Quick update, we will not be streaming the game that the Chargers have next week. They're on the road anyway, but we will not be able to stream that one. We're going out of town for the weekend. I believe, let me double check my schedule. Yeah, I've got the schedule saved somewhere. I know there were, the Reapers were asking about getting a game stream too. All right, yeah, August 26th. So that's the week after next one, August 26th. The Chargers are on the road in Asheville playing the A team, but the Strikers are at the Reapers. The Reapers are asking to get a game stream, so we'll see about that. We'll see if the Chargers want us to come on the road. I tell you, we want to get exposure for these guys, because again, I'm not certain, but I think this might have been the only game streamed. So always, we want to get these guys out there. We want to show how talented they are, get some good film for them, so they can potentially move up to the next level, wherever that may be, arena, get CFL possibly, anything goes. We can go all the way up to the NFL. Fred Jackson, a running back in the United Indoor Football League years ago, worked his all the way up to an NFL starter. Anything's possible. We want to get tape as many of these guys as possible. We'll see how it works out. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody. For Daniel Ruff, I'm Luke Ruff signing off. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great evening.